Hello, everyone. Good evening to my panelists. That is Miguda and Barak. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Good evening, my brother Ben and Miguda. How are you? I'm doing well, and good evening to all our viewers. Karibuni sana.
Asante sana. Miguda, vipi vipi?
Niko salama na pia ningependa kutuma salamu zangu kwa wale wanaotazama na vilevile kwako
na Barak pia. Nasikia sauti. Miguda, nini mbaya? Internet imekuletea shida kidogo?
ni kama hujanipata vizuri. Nimesema natuma salamu zangu kwake Barak na kwako brother Benson na vilevile kwa wale wanaotazama.
Asante sana. Mi nataka kujua kauli yenyu kwa sababu mimi nilikuwa naangalia Kenya na sana sana Wakenya sisi venye sisi huwa ni watu wa ajabu sana, yani kila kitu tunayo. Ukiangalia kwa saizi unapata kwamba tuko kwa ile msimu wa the chan, yani huwezi jua pali ambao sisi tulitoka. Ukiangalia nyuma pali tulikuwepo na sasa tuko kwa chan. Ukikuja kwa entertainment nani, it's a cocktail of everything that you want, like, and that makes us sometimes to say that mimi siwezi Kenya sihami despite all that. Why do you think that people say that, Barak, like kwamba Kenya sihami? Why do you think so?
Well, Kenya is a country full of so many interesting things. I think it's a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
When it comes to hustling and making money and even entertainment.
Yeah.
And even if you look at the biggest asset that Kenya has is the human resource, the manpower that we have. And even if you look at Kenyans who have gone out there, they are rated highly in terms of their rate of productivity. Yeah. And if you look at even Kenya is known as the ICT center of Africa, the ICT hub of Africa, because of how we adopted technology and how we are able to use that technology either for economic gain and also for entertainment, even content creation. And Kenyans are doing very well in what they are doing, because I believe that Wakenya ni watu wa kujituma sana kwa kile wanafanya. The only thing that is letting us down is politics, because when now we go to politics, that is when we start getting it all wrong. But in other fields, I think Kenya is highly regarded as a country of many potential and many opportunities. And if we could get our politics right, I believe Kenya can be the giant of Africa, not only the region of East Africa.
Okay, thank you. And I agree with you, Barak, fully. Especially the only place that not even Kenyans, I would say that the only place that Kenyan, like, we see that we are living, we are kind of like departing from our Kenyanism is about politics. And I think this, that the politicians have known that, and this is the point whereby they usually use it is that battle that they usually push for Kenya. Because, like, look at entertainment when it comes to creativity. Today there's this guy, I cannot pronounce his name. He is, in how he personifies everybody. The other time he personified the war, he personified, like, every person that he personified, like, he come exactly at that person. There's a video that he did about the Kanye West wa Kenya, but like he was like him, and you're entertained. Go to the TikTok, especially those who are creating the content in terms of entertaining it. It's so much full of talent, and and it makes you, when you look at the other side of Kenya, ndio unapata unasema Kenya siami. We Miguda, what makes you to say that Kenya siami?
Kenya siami kwangu inalingana, kwa sababu unapata Kenya siami, kuna tu wakati Kenya inakuwa fiti na pia kuna wakati Kenya unaweza chukia Kenya. Kwa nini niseme hivyo? Nasema hivyo kwa sababu unapata Wakenya ni wale, tuko wengi katika population, tuko wengi, na pia tunatoka katika kabila tofauti tofauti. Tunasema kwa lugha ya kimombo tuko diverse. Sasa unapata kila mtu ako na kipaji kila msee ako na kipaji na kila kabila kuna kipaji, na kuna hata wakati watu wanasema ati Kenya bila Wajaluo sijui Kenya ingekuwaje, ama Kenya bila Wakikuyu, ama Kenya bila Wasomali. Sasa unapata tuko na watu tofauti tofauti na pia vipaji tofauti tofauti. Sasa inaweka nchi inakaa nzuri juu unapata kwa mfano ukienda katika nchi zingine kama Rwanda unapata kuna tu kabila mbili, Tutsi na Hutsi, na pia kuna hata nchi zingine kuna kabila moja. Sasa hizo nchi hazikai nchi za burudani, na ningependa kusema tu kitu kimoja kwa lugha ya kimombo. Unapata ya kwamba kuna wakati mama yake Barack Obama alikuwa rais wa Amerika. Kuna wakati mama yake alikuwa anamwambia ati kama alikuwa mtoto mdogo, Barack, the world is complicated and that is what makes it more interesting. So to me, Kenya is complicated and that's why it's very much interesting, and that's why people are saying Kenya Siami, because of the complicated part of it, whereby we are many, we are diverse, we are talented, we are gifted. If it comes to politics, there's people who knows politics. If you come to debates, people like Sifuna, people like Miguna, you can't find them anywhere, just in Kenya. When it comes to like punching, people like Rigathi, you understand? So it comes to soccer, people like the lawyers and the laws. When it comes to business, so the Somalis, the Kikuyus. I think because we are gifted differently, and that's why it's so more interesting. That's what we are saying. Kenya Sihami.
Now talk about entertainment, and look at even how, especially like when you find like the Kalenjin community are organizing their entertainment, their dance, the way they carry out themselves, their accent or how their pronunciation come to the people of Mount Kenya. They have their cultural, come to the Luo, come to Kamba, like they usually give different vibes, and one thing that makes it so much interesting that you will find that if it is for Luo, that you will not find only Luos. If it is for Kalenjins, you will find all Kenyans. You'll have to find that they will be there. All tribes will be there. The other time I was watching this presenter from Hot 96 akasema kwamba mimi nikirudi duniani na form yangu ndarudi kama Mjaluo kwa sababu it is vibing, and that admiration for each other's culture, each other's the way, even how we perfect our art and everything, it gives you another Kenya that really makes you just love it. Barack, what do you say?
Yes, I totally agree with you, and my opinion is that I will encourage Kenyans to attend these cultural events of not your community but other communities. That's when you start appreciating how the diversity that we have as a country. It makes us a very interesting society. If you go to this, you see these Luo nights, Luya nights. The other time we had at Uhuru Gardens, where we had the festival, the Luo festival. Then a week before that, we had a Vulai festival at KICC. And we had the Kalenjin also doing their own when we were doing the Luo festival here. And we also had the Ngemi. So once you go to these events that do not belong to your community, I can assure you, you will have a time of your lifetime, because you will appreciate and you will have fun and you'll enjoy other community, how they are doing things, how their food, what they value most, their values, and so on and so forth. And even you also go to the Swahili, the coastal traditional, whatever, when they're doing their things, and even Somali. So I think the diversity that we have as a country, it's our biggest asset. And I hope that we never had a toxic political environment, because that is what is spoiling the show for us as a country, because we are getting everything right, but when it comes to politics, the toxic environment that politics brings to this country is the one that inatia doa ile utamu ya Kenya ile tuko nayo. So Kenya is a beautiful country with beautiful culture, with beautiful people, brilliant cultures that we just need to embrace our diversity. Yeah, because diversity is what is making us unique and what is making us a very interesting. There's a day the former president Uhuru Kenyatta was saying that kama we umeoa na kwa nyumba yako mnaishi tu kwa amani kila kutoka tarehe 1 Januari mpaka the last day of the year, that have boring it's a very boring marriage. That sasa ile mnakuwa na tofauti ndio inawapatia nguvu kwenye hali ndio inawafanya mna enjoy that relationship. So as a country, I believe that this diversity that we have is the one that is making us be a unique and a very interesting country.
Thank you, Barak. And you talk about that, like, look at now. I was just seeing the scenarios, especially watching the video scenarios, especially. I think like there was this comment before Kenya played Morocco that the Tanzania were trying to saying that we cannot beat Morocco. And the vibe on even right now on the internet, you know, the unity that the Kenyans are giving the boys, you know. And I watch also this clip of a young person was saying that hao wasijazi watafanya sisi tukue maskini, hebu endeleeni kupiga mabao, you know. And the way he was saying it was so entertaining that everybody was just very happy of what the boy is saying, that sisi Kenya itakuwa maskini, hebu ama boys wacheze. And you find that even like Kenyans are very happy that the players are getting this money, you know. Take for example, if Ruto could have been putting this money somewhere, do you think it could have been the reception? What could have been the reaction?
Watu wangefurahia hata kidogo. And you know the fact that these players they are one of us, wanatoka mtaa kwetu, ni watu tumekuwa nao kwa mtaa, tunajua familia zao, tunajua maisha yao vile imekuwa, and now they are all of a sudden becoming millionaires. I think that is, it also inspires other young people from where they are coming from to try their luck in talent. And talking about Tanzania, nimesikia ati sijua Kenya, I don't know if it's true or not, ati Wakenya wamenunua tiketi za Tanzania na Morocco. Tuna extent that wanataka hiyo mechi ikose kuwa na mashabiki wa Tanzania kwa sababu they are buying the ticket but they are not going to attend the match, so that Morocco will just will be playing with Tanzania on an empty stadium. I don't know if that is true or not. Nimeona ikicirculate online.
I saw something like that this guy was saying that after 7 minutes there were no tickets. 7 minutes. Yeah. Miguda, what can you say?
Ni Wakenya wamezununua zote.
Miguda, what can you say about Kenya? Because like you know, I don't know how I can classify our Kenyan community in terms of what they're doing, especially when it comes something that touches on our, even the celebration alone at the CBD. I saw this video how they were celebrating after the goal. I tell you, it was so amazing. I tell you, it makes you to love even your country more, Miguda.
It is very interesting topic, you know.
Yeah,
I used to attend those matches sometimes. Nowadays, it's like I'm engaged in many things. I used to. It's quite interesting. And also in this Kenya, you know, we have, like, Kenya is the only country with 6 different climates if you move around. Yeah, so even if you go to coast, you find different people, different songs. Dedera, wasichana Waswahili warembo, hujawahi ona kutoka bara kama sisi wenye tunatoka bara. Ukifika huko sasa, kwani hawa wasichana wako hili ulimwengu kweli? So it's very interesting. Okay, Turkana pia mambo imechemka. So it's a very, very interesting country. For those people who actually travel, can really appreciate Kenya the way it is.
Okay, thank you. And before we just go to the main discussion of the day, and even the how we speak, you know, when you go to Kisumu, because like I'm one person who has been in there, but the good time of my life has been in Kisumu. Our Kiswahili is quite much different from that one of Nairobi, because should I call it multilingual? Like it is a mixture of Kiswahili, not really Kiswahili, but with Jaluo with Jaluo in it, and they go together. You find that you meet somebody on the street, or you are uko mtaa, mtu atakuuliza toaje bwana hivi tao, you know, and it sounds nice, you know, and it is something that people speak. Come to Nairobi with with the sheng that is in Nairobi that we usually see, the shembeteng, ngumimbwekse, all that, you know. And this is some of the things, some of this, it is very rare for you to find them in other countries, because like it is Kenya. Go to the coast, go to Nakuru, everywhere, each and every country or each and every region in the country have their characteristics that define them differently from other counties, and what they do, the nature of their life. So at least those are good side of our country that we really appreciate, and we are really proud of as Kenyans. And I think we should always embrace each other. Let's not politics divide us. When the politician comes with these narratives that divide us, despite all that, let us bring that Kenyanness in us. Mr. Barak, what do you say?
I fully agree with you, Buena Ben, because of we have a very beautiful country with the people who are so determined to excel in whatever they are doing, people who are creative, people who are very aggressive and go-getters. And I believe we have created a society where we've made so many things interesting, and the talent that Kenya that is here in Kenya, it is beyond imaginable that a country in a developing country like Kenya can even exploit the technology the way it's exploiting, and even just to be making income. This I was in an event where it was having people from different parts of Africa, and they were just wondering, you mean this is what is happening here in Kenya? The way technology is very much accessible, even though we complain of our politics, now if you narrow it down to Africa, we are doing much better than many African countries. And I think if we can just get it right in politics, I think we can be one of the best countries in sub-Saharan Africa, and we can be a model to other countries to benchmark from. So and I think even in terms of talent, we are really talented as a country, and that's when you see us making winning goals in Olympics, in athletics, and even in rugby and right now, you see, we are making a name out of football. So I think we are a diverse society with a lot of potential to do great things, and we need to work on this one sector that is bringing shame upon us as a country. Politics that is also anchored on corruption. So these two things that are behaving like a cancer in the body of Kenya. So if we can work on them and get it right, Kenya will be a great country that nobody will want to live in.
I tell you, Kenya is always great, and I've always believed in that. There's something that somebody cannot take away from me, especially Kenya, because like it's entertaining you. I was just listening to this comedian is a musician, also a comedian from Kisumu. It's called a Mutu Necessary. He was talking about the 10 million that was supposed to be. So there's a place whereby he said, Mr. President, you have to utume kwa namba yao na confirm kama hujatuma, the street is still open, we can come and tell you. And if you're somebody of a literature student, you might think it is entertaining, and at the same time it has a message in it, because like if somebody tells you that the street is still open, we can also come out and tell you, what does that one mean? When it tells you that, so it means like there's other ways in which we can tell you to give these people the what you promise. We can come to the street and protest because the trees is still open. So it tells you how deep Kenyans are thinking. And if you are one person who doesn't internalize what some of this, even the people who are doing spoken words, in Kenya, there are quite a number of people who are doing spoken words. And if you listen to those spoken words, you will agree with me that how talented we are in terms of the spoken word, the literature, everything in all corners. So that is the Kenya for us. Mr. Barak and Miguda, thank you so much for sharing good vibes about Kenya. And we are going to the discussion of today. And if you're watching us for the very first time, you can also share with us what you love about Kenya. Let us always not portray Kenya in a negative way, but let's share with us what you really, really, really love about our country that you can be ambassador of. So thank you so much. So my gentlemen, what is happening here is the grand coming of the Rigathi. Rigathi is coming back from the tour that he had in the United States, and I think it will be tomorrow. He will be arriving in the country, and there's so many speculation and fevers, especially in politics. People feel like will he be arrested or will he be recording statement based on the remarks that he made while he was away. But to begin with you, Barak, what is so special about Rigathi Gachagua homecoming that is creating these fevers and political temperatures are going up?
Well, I think, when he was leaving the country, those who understand politics knew that this was going to happen when he's coming back.
Yeah.
Because he was testing the ground to see the reception that he will receive when he's jetting back home after his US tour. And he has a deputy that is a good actor.
Yeah.
So he's trying as much as he can to create a scene out of this. And even if you listen to his comments,
yeah,
I think he's trying so much to provoke the government to take action against him. But I think up to now, the government has been reluctant, and which is a good thing, because arresting him will not even be in anybody's good. It's just going to be for his own good, because once they arrest him, they will give him the publicity that he's really looking for. So I think, if you ask me, I believe the state should not interfere with anything that they are planning to do. Let them come. Let his supporters go to the airport, receive him. Let them have a procession wherever they want to go. Allow them to have that rally. Let him address them, and let them not, because once the police start interfering, that's when now they will get panic, and we will have a running battle, and Nairobi will be a no-go zone, which is not good. I've seen many people likening this with when Raila went in the US after the 2017 polls, and when he was coming back, the police were so adamant that he will not address his supporters anywhere within the CBD. And we know that on that day, many people were killed by the police when he was trying to hold the procession from the airport to all the way to the CBD. So it was just a running battle for no apparent reason. Because when you allow the politician just to come and his people and address them, after that address, they will just go home. They won't go anywhere else. But when you start now engaging them in running battles, it's just going to cause loss of lives and loss of property and disruption of business in the CBD, which I think is not going to help anybody. So and there was and also when Kenneth Matiba was also coming from England, from Britain, when he went to seek medication. He was also given the same reception, but he was a giant of that time, because he was a leader of CORD, and CORD was was the major opposition party then. And remember also Kibaki, when he was involved in accident in 2002, he went for treatment in England. And when he was returning home, he was given a heroic welcome, because people knew that this is the incoming president. So I think allow him to enjoy his time.
What is so much good? What is so much interesting, or what is so much interesting, or what is with this homecoming? Because, like you've mentioned, this leader, and remember, even when Miguna had political differences with President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, when President Ruto came into power, he was coming and it was quite much. So this heap, what is Miguna going to say? That he came into the airport, he attended even the one of the holidays, and it ended like that. What is so good, or what is so touching on the homecoming of Rigathi Gachagua that it feels like people are so much energized towards it, especially supporters?
Is testing his popularity.
Oh,
Because, politicians, they are so much concerned with their popularity because they know they can use that as a bargaining tool. But remember, he is a member of the United Opposition. And in United Opposition, we have people like Kalonzo, we have Karua, we have Eugene, and remember, even I saw Bwana Matiangi going to campaign in Meru. So having all those figures there, you need to show others that you have a bigger popularity than others. And then you can use that as a bargaining tool. And you've had Malala insisting that in 2027, DCP is going to have a presidential candidate in the name of Gachagua. So all these they're just testing the waters and see how the public is going to react. Because politicians translate popularity into bargaining tool for power, either to acquire power or to maintain power. So he's just trying to cement his place within the United Opposition so that when time comes for negotiations, utaulizwa wewe unaleta nini kwa meza? And we'll be telling you, my capacity. I left, and when I was coming back, you saw what happened. So I know they will try so much to ensure that they bring business to a standstill in Nairobi, just to send a political message. And that is what they are hell-bent on doing, so that they can use that as a bargaining tool.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Barak, for your input. And let me also invite Miguda. If you're watching us for the very first time in this channel, you can also hit the subscription button so that when we go live, you will always be notified by the YouTube, so you can be part of the conversation. Mr. Miguda, on your own opinion, what does coming back of Rigathi Gachagua mean in your own, if you want to look at it?
Of course, this is not the first time politicians coming back to the country after a long, busy tour outside the country. I remember Gachagua went abroad because there were so many reasons. One of them, he was taking retreat after being impeached. It was very important for him to have a retreat and refresh politically. And also coming back, I think I just want to focus on the relevancy. It is always good to be relevant. What political students are being taught sometimes, and Barak can confirm this, as a politician, it is always vital for you to be relevant, whether people are talking about negative or positive, but that relevancy is very much important for a politician. So relevancy is going to add some bonga points to Rigiji, and he will be the talk of the day even after he has arrived. And people, I think nowadays when you go to X Space, he'll be the trending number one. The way people do trend number one. So I just want to focus that relevancy, and also we understand the current political discourse we have in the country, whereby people are realigning, and it's whereby people want to measure their popularity, that who is who in opposition. And Rigathi Gachagua is trying so hard. Actually, he has tried as a politician to reach where he is right now. And as other people are also trying to stretch, actually, I can say he has stretched further than any other person in the opposition. And the issue of people going to meet him, to me, is just like the people have a right to move. People have a right to move. They have that freedom of movement. They can also come with him. And the main thing for him is to address his supporters. So once he has addressed his supporters, he can just walk home. And I just want to confirm to you, because I said the other day that they can't arrest him. Not that they can't arrest him, that is above the law, but right now we have like turn going on, and it's like the political temperature has cooled down a bit. So arresting him gonna complicate issues. The Chan issue, the politics is gonna rise. Some people might demonstrate, and also people are talking about compensation. So if you arrest him tomorrow, or the day will be arriving, some people can be shot dead. Some people can be. So instead of compensating people, you are continue killing people. So to me, they're not going to arrest Gachagua. He's gonna walk home freely. He's gonna walk to his home after addressing the supporters, and they are not going to even to summon him to record a statement that very day. Maybe they can do it later, but that is to me. They are not going to arrest him. They will just allow him to do his politics and to address his supporters. At least he has communicated to them. Then I think from there we will have to see how things will unfold in the coming events.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Barak. Let me engage you here because, like, there are also people who believe that coming back of Rigathi Gachagua is giving the government sleepless night because, like, you cannot predict on what next Rigathi Gachagua is going to say. So this also is giving them sleepless nights. So and they're finding a way, how can we contend this? Because, like, it's unpredictability, especially on what he's going to say based on what is now happening. We have this issue that the president is calling out on the two houses that they are corrupt, and he knows very well on how to take punches on issues like that. That one can also give people enthusiasm or no?
Yeah, Gachagua, his biggest weapon is his tongue.
Yeah.
And the only problem that with the people who have a very sharp tongue is that it also becomes their own enemy. Because what you say can build and can also destroy you as an individual. And so many things that he was talking about while in the US. There's some quotas who found them so unpatriotic, and they remember even some people raising issues of tribal politics with him in the US. So his tongue has been his main weapon of distraction to the government, and has also been his main undoing.
Yeah.
So I don't know when he is going to create a balance and know how to use that tongue for constructive politics, so that he can also build himself as a brand, because he should be doing politics that is beyond Mount Kenya region, so that he can become an acceptable national leader. So the government, to me, I think if they are worried, this is a tragedy that they brought upon themselves, because Gachagua Kenya made history. The first country, I think, to impeach their own deputy president. I've never seen a government sponsoring a motion against one of their own.
Yeah.
So this was a history that Kenya made, the Kenyan government made, by impeaching one of their own, the deputy president. And so the consequences of that, I think they must be able to deal with it. And because sometimes you might be scheming, and you even scheme against somebody else, and you end up scheming against yourself. So I think Rigathi has also helped the government to be on toes, because they are afraid of what he will say. So that helps them to work much better than when he was not around. So I think it's a blessing in disguise for Kenyans, because we never expected that to happen. But Gachagua has remained to be a thorn in the flesh of the government, whether he's doing it for personal reason or just for vengeance. As long as the government is kept on toes, because we know that Parliament is not able to hold the government to account. So and you saw they were called corrupt, and that now they they're up in arms, and we know they have been. I had a member of Parliament saying that they passed the finance bill for the president, they passed housing levy for the president. So they've been passing bill for the president, not for the people of Kenya. So if we can have someone out here who understands where the problem is, and he knows where to punch, I think that's a good thing. So let them deal with that, and I hope it's going to work for the best of all Kenyans.
Maybe before I bring in Miguda, based on what you've just said, because like not even once Rigathi Gachagua has been on that, like everything that is being done is done for the president. And if you listen to the member of parliament saying all that, including Shah, including and he said that he brought in bills that were unpopular with the people, but we passed them for him. Actually, that was said by the member of parliament from who was that? David Ochieng, actually. David Ochieng, from Ugenya. He's the person who said that. Actually, this is what David Ochieng said. I can quote. Ruto gave us the finance bill. It was never popular, but we passed it for him. He gave us the house levy. We passed it for him. He asked us to pass SHA for him, and we passed it. What have we not done for him that he can now come and bastardize us? So which means all this, the bills now, there's something now we are learning, that despite the fact that all these bills that were being brought to the parliament, the members of parliament decided to pass these bills, not looking at or not putting the interests of their representatives, the people that they represent in the parliament, but they look at the interests of the president. That's from the statement. I mean, this is maybe what the statement says about. Yeah, and the Rigathi also has always been saying, not exactly as, but like his way of thought or his way of thinking has always been pointing out at such like issues whereby the bills that are being passed are not people friendly. And has he now been vindicated about that, Mr. Barak?
Well, when I listened to that, to Honorable David Ochieng talking, I just felt pity for him, because he didn't know what he was saying.
Yeah.
Because he thought that he's getting back at the president, but he's just shooting himself on the foot, because you are elected as a member of the National Assembly to go there to perform 3 duties: to oversight, to legislate, and to represent. Now, to represent who? The people who have given you the mandate at your electorate, your constituency. But now he's confirming to us that he went to parliament to serve one individual, the head of state. Because the bills that have been there, he has confirmed that they have not been popular by the people. It has not been popular by the people, but because he was serving the interest of the head of state, they passed that bill for him. So it means that this parliament that we have has been serving the interest of the president, but not the interest of the electorate. So they don't have the capacity to hold the executive to account, to oversight the executive, because they are there to serve the interest of the executive. So it was unfortunate, but that is what we've been saying. But now they are coming out there to confirm to us that this is what we've been doing. So if we could have been in a civilized society, the whole parliament could have just gone home, and we go to elect a parliament that can understand their role and mandate. Because you cannot be sitting in parliament to serve the executive that you're supposed to oversight. Then, because now executives say that there are corruption elements in parliament, now you come out and guns blazing. So I think that we do not have that civility as a society, and that's why you see parliamentarians, even all politicians, from the head of state to the MCAs, they're just playing politics with us. They quarrel, they eat together, because all of them are corrupt individuals.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Mr. Barak. Miguda, let me engage you, because we've always seen, especially when the police interact with the public, in most occasions, that the political interaction, you find that there is that disagreement, and what always result into the running battle between the police and the public. How can the police today, for the march that Rigathi Gachagua is going to have, because like it's not even a protest, they're saying they're going to have peaceful march where they will march from the airport to CBD, then they will go and address the nation at Kamkunji. What should the police do so that the event of Rigathi Gachagua, his homecoming or his grand coming, whatever you want to name it, end peacefully without having casualty?
First, the police also must understand, and not that I am too much on police.
Yeah.
They are the duty bearers. We, the people, are the right holders. They have a duty to ensure that there's no property destroyed. They have a duty to ensure that there's no life that is going to be lost, because they are armed. They are armed with the tear gas. They are armed with the rubber bullets. They are armed with the live rounds. They are armed with the water cannons. So it is their duty, because civilians are unarmed. They are just peaceful people marching. The reason why I must call it out for them to be duty bearers is because we have had similar incidents before.
Yeah.
When Raila was marching from JKIA to Huru Park, there was no intention to go and remove President Uhuru from State House. There was no intention. Just a peaceful march from JKIA to Uhuru Park, addressing your supporters. Then you go home. You just charge your supporters. You charge the ground. The same way, when Raila was having a mock swearing in, there was no intention to go to State House. It was just to charge the ground and also to make your supporters believe in you, that you are not a coward. Actually, you mean what you are saying and you say exactly what you mean. That's why it was decided early morning that let the police retreat from Uhuru Park. And once the police retreated, it was a peaceful swearing in. People walked home happy that Raila Odinga has been sworn in. That's why, to me, I can just appeal to the police officers. Let them give Gachagua an escort. Just marching from JK to Kamkunji. And Kamkunji here is significant. Remember, most of the opposition rallies has been held in Kamkunji. That's why I'm telling you, Gachagua is a fast learner. He's going very fast because already he's going to have a rally at Kamkunji. So it's like he's the chief opposition, in quote. Chief opposition, because if you're gonna hold a rally at Kamkunji, look at Kamkunji addressing the supporters. Then from Kamkunji, he's not going to State House, he's not going to Parliament, he's not going to. People will just walk home, back home. So to me, I think we have learned from the history, and we have learned from the past that actually there's no intention to have any coup. It's just a matter of charging the ground, being relevant, and also testing your popularity, and so sending signals to the government that actually I'm in town, I'm back. So I think the police officers tomorrow or in that day, they should just ensure that we don't lose any lives, and also property should not be destroyed. And also the protesters should understand that they should align with the public order. If it is from JKI to Kamkunji, let them not branch to other places to steal from civilians, or let them not provoke the police officers by throwing stones to them. Let them focus on escorting their leader, and also focus to listen to their leader. Maybe their leaders have a good news from United States of America. Maybe their leader might declare that next month many things can happen in the by-election. So I think it's very important. Let us just be decorum as a public and as the police officers.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Migode. And let me take this opportunity also to thank our father, Danny. I'm seeing you there. And I have Irene. Irene is saying, hello, everyone. 2027 is coming. Let's choose leaders who will represent our interests, because if we give room to leaders like the one we have now, we will be finished because they are ignorant. That's according to what Irene is saying. And it is true, like, to vote wisely. But there's also something that Miguda has mentioned, and I want to bring it into perspective about the public themselves, the people who the people who are going to receive the Rigathi Gachagua. Their relationship with the police. They have to know that we are going to receive the Rigathi Gachagua, and we know that we have members of Kenya or public who are having their business, who might not be interested in what will be taking place that day. What kind of respect would you give them? And as Miguda also said, because this is also a question that I had, I would just wanted to know that if you look at it critically, is there something that Gachagua has to offer apart from what he has always been saying, since that is coming from United States? You know, sometimes the United States also has a name, you know, and is coming to offer something that what he has not said. So talk about the public themselves, because we've talked about the police, and we've told the police, like, okay, you have to make sure that everybody is safe. But what about the safety of the police? What about those who are protesting too? They should also know what they're doing, or not protesting, sorry. Those will be marching. I'm sorry about that. Those will be marching.
I think that is the biggest challenge we have as a country.
Yeah.
Because we've not really understood the what we call right.
Yeah.
We talk about Bill of Rights, and we complain so much that we have the right, but we have never mastered the art of, yes, I have a right, but my right ends where your right begins. Because I have a right to march, I have a right to demonstrate, but I don't have a right to disrupt your daily life. That's what we have not, and it has been in our culture, and that's why you see it is very difficult for us to have a peaceful demonstration when politics is involved, because protesters come with the intention of disrupting other people's rights.
True.
Yeah, you come to the street, and if you see someone has opened their shop, you go there and you loot and you beat them up because you think they are not joining you in your demonstration. And that has always been the problem, the genesis of chaos in protest, the genesis of problems, and even others are also used to. I think you remember sometime back when demonstrator was saying that demonstration bila tear gas, your demonstration bwana, lazima tutupue tear gas kidogo. Yeah, it's like when the police are not throwing tear, they tend to provoke the police so that at least taste that tear gas, and so that they can feel, okay, today we've really demonstrated. So I think we need some civic education, and that can also be done by politicians, because they are the one who command these masses who are ignorant, and they need to be to some civic education to understand that when you are going to demonstrate, if someone is not part of that demonstration, allow them to continue with their activities, because that is a democratic society. You do not force people to do what you are doing, then you call that democracy. You do not beat up people who are not part of your team, then you call that democracy. And you see that happening. And I think that is why when there's a rumors of the protest, people will tend to stay away from the CBD, because they know that there will be chaos and looting and everything. And many people have even incurred huge losses as a result of that. And it's just, I think it's just within our culture as a society that we are just focusing on one right to demonstrate, but we're not focusing on the rights of the whole society, because not everybody wants to demonstrate. Not everybody will want to close their shops because demonstrations are ongoing. Not children will still want to go to school. They will not want to stay at home because demonstrations, because everybody, they have their daily activities that they are doing, either to build the nation or to build their lives. Yeah. So if we can distinguish that, I think we'll even give the police an easy job. Because I can assure you that procession, if they are just marching from the airport to Kamkunji, if you are heading the opposite direction, I can assure you, if you have your phone or your wallet, you will not pass that crowd without being snatched. And sometimes you will be beaten up, and you wonder, what have I done wrong? So I think it's just an issue that we need to talk about. But unfortunately, the only person that can change that, they're politicians. But politicians love to thrive in chaos. They will not want to have that order, because they know when we have order, they will not. They will not be relevant. They want to be relevant by creating disorder, chaos, so that they can pass a political message, and that's quite unfortunate as a society. I don't see that ending anytime soon. And in terms of what Rigathi is going to offer new, I don't think there's anything new that is going to offer. We know Rigathi, and his message has always been consistent, and I think he's just going to continue emphasizing. And he will just be bragging how now he's back and he's not, and the slogan of one term should continue, and just to excite the supporters. But I don't think there's anything really substantive that can really come out from the US.
Okay, thank you so much. And before you invite me, I also want to know his mind, because there's also something that also we need to talk about, especially we know right now the Rigathi will be coming, and having that procession and go up to the Kamkunji. And now his competitors, we've always seen a situation whereby the infiltration, those his competitor sometimes will have to organize another group to encounter so that it could be seen that this thing, the procession of Rigathi Gachagua was chaotic, and maybe it was meant to create this chaos. What can we tell those who do not agree with the Rigathi Gachagua ideology, and to just let his procession go as it should? So the idea of organizing these goons to come and infiltrate and create chaos, and what do you have to tell to politicians, because they are the people who are organizing that?
I think this is just part of our political bad manners.
Yeah.
Because it's something that has been in our politics for some time, that even someone goes to an extent of even buying the uniform of those who are, for example, the t-shirts. They will even buy DCP and t-shirts and print them and brand those goons and plant them strategically within that, so that it can be said that these people are goons and they're just creating chaos so that they can have a bargaining point when it comes to, say, issues of security. Remember that this has been happening in our politics, even when, you know, the good thing that when these politicians fall out, they come out and they start speaking of what they were doing when they were on the other side. So it is not a good thing in our political culture, because we, you know, the problem that we are electing criminals to leaders, and you know, criminals, they have that criminal mind. They will always come up with innovating minds to counter, but they will counter in a criminal way. Yeah, so that is the problem. But when we have the right people in leadership, I can assure you these things will not be happening, because they will not. Good leaders or competent leaders, they don't have that criminal mind of trying to counter their opponents using goons, counter opponents using violence, because we are in you know, politics brings out that aspect of violence in Kenya, and it becomes so bloody sometimes that even we end up losing lives. And imagine you are being sent you are being sent to disrupt a meeting only to end up being killed by the other side. And I think our young people are so vulnerable to an extent that they are available for hire at a very cheap price. They don't even care about the value of their life. They don't care about the injuries they are going to get from that, in case they are identified and they are beaten up. Because, you know, when you are in the midst of a mob, and they identify you as someone who is just coming there to infiltrate their possession, I can assure you it will not be good for you. You will see bad things. And you know, when these guys are promised or they are given small money and they are branded, they don't think about the outcome, just in case things go wrong. And I think that is why we need to empower our young people, so that they are not available to do some shady jobs like that. Because if you are busy building yourself economically somewhere, I am sure you will not be brought in and paid 500 shillings or 1,000 shillings just to go and disrupt a meeting where you'll end up being beaten up.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Barak, for that. And Miguda, what do you have to say, especially on the political goonism, whereby the goons infiltrate a peaceful or maybe marching procession that will take place? Because we will see that, because it has always been the norm of our politics, especially on how to sabotage your competitor, as Barak has mentioned. Like, after this, the politician disagree, that's when all these issues, they bring them into public. Remember when Sonko said how they used to ban those cars and all that? You remember what they used to do? I think at some point he said that, if I might be, but he said a message like that. And the one that is coming on Thursday, I don't think that we are away from seeing such like scenarios.
I think when it comes to the issue of goons or people infiltrating or hijacking the demonstration, be it a march or a marching people march, it is always being organized by the competitors, whereby they want to look for any lapse in security so that they can go ahead and accuse you that if you are not marching or demonstrating, people could have not lost their properties, or maybe people could have not lost their lives. Some can be used. You saw even some cars were being banned, the 2 cars, when the Gens were protesting. But later, when they went to NTSA portal, they find out that those cars, they are not even have their owners. So to me, I think that sometimes it is usually strategically to plot such things so that they can have any accusation. But even if you look at the people who have been destroying properties like cars, or people who have been infiltrating goods, none has been arrested. So it means that it is something that is strategically from the opponent, and then so that even we have their images, but the people who are seen peacefully protesting, some were arrested, some were charged, but goons were never arrested. But goons, goons were harmed. So to me, it's something that is strategically being plotted by competitors to ensure that they counter their opponent. You understand that in politics, each and every moves matter, because there are people who believe what they see. There are people who just believe that it is indeed ODM goons who are burning those vehicles. Already I've sent a message. That one is just enough. There are people who believe that one. You know, there are people who will do a lot of research about it, but majority of the people will believe whatever they have seen and whatever they have been told. That's why in a political rally, people tend to believe the speaker because that's what they have heard. But a few people tend to go back and interrogate what was said by the speaker. But people will oh, hapana, baba akishasema imeisha, baba akishasoma constitution, hiyo constitution iko sawa, haina hata errors. That is final. A good number will tell you that one. So to me, I think that is politicians don't plot those things in vain. They understand the impact of those things they are plotting. They understand the impacts of infiltration. They understand the impact of hijacking. They understand that that's why they usually do them. Even if you're gonna see them in the future, don't be in a worry because to them it's very impactful and it sends a message that wale watu wa DCP walikuwa wanachoma tu magari za watu, hata ikuwa peaceful marching, silikuwa tu kuchoma tu magari ama kupora mali za watu, and that's what people will listen at the rally. So I think it is very strategic when it comes to plotting such issues.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Barak, before you leave, because I know you'll be leaving in a few. Because I'm looking at the news right now, and from the police, this is from the police headquarters, saying that wamepigwa marufuku ya kufanya mkutano katika uwanja wa Kamkunji. Hiyo imetoka kwa polisi. I'm just seeing something like that. Yes, so what does that one mean? Because that one, it tells you that the confrontation definitely will be there. And that is what the politics is all about, because now the police are saying you are not going to have your meeting at Kamkunji. And what will that one mean?
I think this is the problem we have in this country, that we don't have leaders in position who are problem solvers, but they are problem creators, because that is just creating a problem for tomorrow. And you will hear that property will be destroyed, life will be lost for something that is so simple. We have people who do not make decisions based on solving a problem. So I can assure you tomorrow we have so many people who will stay at home in Nairobi. They will not go to their offices. They will not go to open their, because they know what will happen. And they're just creating an avenue for unnecessary confrontation. And I don't know who is who comes up with such ideas, because when you know the nature of human being, when you want to be denying me an opportunity, I will resist. And I will retaliate, and you just creating a confrontation. Because if they could have just been allowed to march from where they are coming from and to Kamkunji and have the meeting and leave that meeting, I think we could not have a chaotic day in the city. And you know, even if you look back, when Kibaki was coming back from England hospital, there was no even one mandazi that was stolen in Nairobi, because nobody interfered with the procession. And remember, he was an opposition candidate. Even when Matiba was coming back from England, from the hospital, the police never interfered. But when Raila was coming back from the US in 2017, the police tried to stop the procession, and Nairobi was full of chaos, and people were killed, property was destroyed, and so on and so forth. So instead of learning from the past and making the right decisions going forward, we just want to repeat the same mistakes that we did in the past. And it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm seeing our good friend Eldra Obio Vice. That's what is. And you know, Barak, you've spoken of something that is quite much, very, very, very much something that we need to interrogate, especially when it comes to our politics, where especially on how do we manage or how do we make decisions? What informs our decision? Because, like, let's say if you have a crisis, what will inform your decision is the intents of the crisis and how can I handle it so that it cannot create more damage. But now, in the situation like this, when maybe the party had already given the police the information of what they are going to do, yeah, and now the work of the police is not to decide on what to do, or maybe the police can give the information by saying that, okay, this is the main reason, but now, as you said, the nature of human being, and it will happen. There are people who will come to the street and it will be a confrontation, and in the end, what is the end result? What are you going to achieve? You let him have the procession, or you stop him and we lose life. So we weigh the options. Which one is more? Which one is worth, Mr. Barak? Before you leave,
there's a verse written in the Bible, for those of us who read the Bible, that to whom much is given, much is expected. So the government that is in power is the one that is in charge.
Yeah.
So much is expected from him, from the government. DCP, I'm sure they decided to inform the police in the media of what they are going to do.
Yes.
They did not inform the police formally the way the public order demands. But they were doing that intentionally to invite the police to refuse. Then they will take advantage of that and cause chaos within the CBD. So to whom much is given, much is expected. The government it can act professionally through the security agencies and know that this was an invitation for provocation, and they're just playing in the game of DCP. Yeah. So they could have learned from the past, and you made a good decision of allowing the procession from wherever they want to proceed from, walk through to, I don't know if Mombasa Road or whichever road, Outer Ring Road, to Jogo Road, ndani ya Kamkunji. Allow them to do that without trying to stop them. Once you stop them, we have so many thieves in our society. Goons are all over in the society. They will take advantage of that. And I can assure you, they are going to create chaos. And that will give Gachagua the relevance that is looking for. That is going to give the DCP the platform they are looking for. Yeah, and even where Gachagua is coming from, the people that he was addressing, they are looking at the conduct of police tomorrow and the conduct of the people who are going to receive him. And if they see that there's the hostility from the police, they will know that this is someone who is of significance. So they are just playing into the game of the DCP, what they are looking for. And I think we need a government with people who knows how to make the right decisions.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Barak. And let me take this opportunity. Gordon Makare is saying, when is Gachagua coming back? Is coming back on 21st. So I think if he's boarding, he might be boarding today. Then he will be in the country like tomorrow, the Thursday. Yeah. And Barak, thank you so much. And I know you will come back after a while. And let me also continue to engage Miguda here. Miguda, thank you so much. And let me also take this opportunity for everyone who is having us on this conversation or who is watching us. If you're new in the Brother Benson Media channel, you can always subscribe so that you become part of the conversation and you ask those questions. If we are able to answer, we will. If we are not, we will look for professionals, especially to come and assist us so that we have candid and valued conversation that are geared towards good governance. Miguda, now, when you look at now where Rigathi Gachagua has come from the time he was impeached until today, you see that during his impeachment, the main goal was to wipe him out of the political scene and maybe bury his political ambitions. But he never died, specifically based on now what is happening, because he has been this person that has always put the government on conversation and always making people listen to him, and is now coming back, and we are going to see this backlash. Do you think there will be a point whereby he will not remain relevant, so people will not talk about it?
No, it can never remain relevant because
Yeah.
already where he has come from, you know,
Yeah.
when he was being impeached,
Yeah.
the president was advised that in Mount Kenya, once you are not elected, you are not relevant.
Mm-hmm.
People followed elected leaders. People preferred people who are elected. But once someone is not in office, people don't follow him. But they got it wrong because actually, it's like people of Mount Kenya have already moved. And
Yeah.
Gachagua went where people are. Now he's with the people. That's how Gachagua hijacked the crowd.
Yeah.
The crowd already moved. They were no longer supporting William Ruto. So Gachagua is with them. And Gachagua has made some significant moves politically, and that's why I've told you that right now, if were it not for him, we could have not discussed him here because someone who was impeached, I think
Yeah.
some year ago. Why are we
Mm-hmm.
discussing him here today? Why is it that now today the Kamkuji has been shut down because of his coming back? So to me, he is relevant. And even if they are going to do whatever they will do to him,
Yeah.
maybe block him to access Kamkunji, maybe detaining him at the airport, or maybe threatening to arrest him, or maybe forcing him to go and record a statement, he will still be relevant because people will talk about him to a Friday. People talk
Mm-hmm.
about him weekends, and it might be on a church on a Sunday. So I
Mm-hmm.
think in terms of relevancy, he's not
Mm-hmm.
going to lose it by any means. But you know, if even the government, the more they arrest you, they charge you, they detain you, they withdraw your securities, they make you more popular and relevant. Because there
Mm.
are some people who can be made. You know, there are some less who can be made if people will give that sympathy. You're gonna gain that sympathy card because you're gonna be someone who is being followed by the people will ask the question, why Gashago? Why are they
Mm-hmm.
too much on him? Maybe he knows something that the people don't know, or maybe is exposing the government. So I think to me,
Mm.
Gachagua is going to be relevant going forward, and either way,
Mm-hmm.
is going to be relevant. So whatever you're going to do to him doesn't affect his popularity or his relevancy. Is going to add it to me. I could have seen it that if they
Mm-hmm.
could just allow him to march to Kamkunji, because now at least there is a
Yes.
destination place
Yeah.
that is called Kamkunji.
Mm-hmm.
So from Kamkunji, they can watch what he's going to speak. Then from there, where he's going to go. Because
Yeah.
now people could have been concentrating to Kamkunji, but this
Yeah.
is now they have shut down Kamkunji.
Yeah.
So you have great tension. Some people
Yeah.
are not going to go to CBD tomorrow. Some people are not going to come out, and some people are also taking advantage that okay, they have shut down Kamkunji. Let's go and meet him at airport so that we can vile wanasemanga ati kesho tunataka kufanya shopping. Some people are going
Yeah.
to do shopping. Tuchukue simu za wasee, tuchukue pesa za watu, ama
Mm.
tupore watu kwa gari. Some people, that is Nairobi. You understand? It is Nairobi. Every opportunity you must maximize, and even thieves are
Mm.
maximizing each and every opportunity of
Every
demonstration.
opportunity. Oh, okay.
Right now we are in a camp meeting.
Mm.
This is our season for camp meeting, but the theme of this year is maximize each and every opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, that is the theme. So, like
That's the
everybody.
theme of this year.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's put aside the grand coming of Rigathi Gachagua, and thank you, Father Danny, for letting our viewer know that it is on Thursday. Actually, I only gave the date, but I did not give the day. Today is Wednesday, and tomorrow will be a Thursday, and he will be arriving tomorrow. Now, there's something that also, Miguda, want us to look at it, and also to give the message to our viewers, and it makes me look at it and say that politicians, sometimes we need to be very keen. I want to bring you back to when NADCO report was released. There are quite a number of issues that were they agreed upon, especially that is the Kenya Kwanza and the Azimio then. And one of them was about the issue of CDF. You agree that was one of the issues that they agreed on, how the CDF was supposed to be constitutionalized, right? So it was supposed to be put in law, because as we speak today, it is not anchored in law, apart from the bill that they passed the other day, and the Supreme Court had made pronouncement on the CDF. especially after even changing the name, that it was unconstitutional. But now the twist, this is now the twist that is coming in. If you listen to Right Honorable Prime Minister for a few days, he has been talking about the CDF. Yeah. Having on the CDF, right? You know that he has been having that on the CDF. You know, they're telling me we have a problem streaming on the Facebook. I don't know what is happening on the Facebook. We might have lost our Facebook. I don't know. Okay, we'll figure it out. And now Prime Minister is talking about that CDF to be out, right? But when you look at the 10-point agenda, it's about NADCO report, and in that NADCO report, there's a CDF. What is happening? Can we understand what is happening?
We can't understand what's happening, but we are able to tell that there is no consistency and there is also no goodwill, because the people who came out the NADCO report were the committee which were brought in by the Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza. And one of the representatives were coming from ODM, like I saw Pio and I. And they proposed that because we don't have the constituted NGCDF, it is proper for us to anchor it into law, the way you have stated very categorically. Now, right now, the Prime Minister is saying, let us abolish the NGCDF. It is unconstitutional. That it should not, that money should not go to Parliament. It should be taken to the devolved government.
Yeah.
So the question is, when people were proposing the NADCO report, were they not having a unanimous agreement? And right now, what has changed? Because the same people also are saying that the broad-based government is going to implement NADCO report. So how are you going to implement something which is not going to? So to me, I can say that this issue may be, like someone said, the Council of Governors or the people who advise Raila, that they misadvise him. And when I was doing my calculation, it's almost at 40 billion. 40 billion. And when it's a 40 billion, so if they top it on the 45 billion in the counties, county gonna get 85 billions. Maybe. And right now you have seen the way Mr. President is accusing the parliament of corruption. It's like they are done with parliament. They don't want parliament. They are taking NGCDF from them, and also they are tarnishing their name to be corrupt. So I think there are some things wrong. There are things which are wrong. And I think the two people, the president and Raila Odinga, they are cunning. All of them are cunning. And there is how they are lying to each other. Either way, one is trying to.
Let me ask you, Migoda. I don't think they are lying to each other. They are saying truth to each other. The people, they are just the people. They don't tell because like these are two principles. Yeah, it took so many months, especially to discuss the NADCO report, and they agreed about the NADCO report, and they wanted to implementation of the NADCO report. And among them was the issue of CDF that is bringing issues right now in the parliament. And again, now the Right Honorable Prime Minister is saying that this thing, it should the issue, the CDF should come out of the parliament. And remember, in that NADCO report, it was also suggested that even MCA was supposed to get some money for development, right? Yeah. So which means if we are going to implement the CDF, not CDF, sorry. If you're going to implement the NADCO report, are they going to implement NADCO report minus, among other things that they agreed, which was which was including the CDF, or what has really changed from the time they agreed to the time the broad-based come into the government to now? What has really transpired?
Nothing has transpired,
And the reason why I was saying someone is lying to the other is because initially they agreed on implementing NADCO report without removing the NGCDF.
Yes.
But today, maybe someone has told them that the reason why we can't implement NADCO report is because this the issue of NGCDF. Because the other person wanted to be implemented, say, okay, if that is the issue, let me remove it. So we are going to implement it. We are going to implement it without including the NGCDF. So this is why I was saying there is a lie here, is because they have taken time to implement it, but right now they're saying, okay, let us remove the NGCDF for us to implement. So it means at the initial point, there was someone who was comfortable with the NGCDF, but someone has put a pressure that for me to implement it, let us scrape off this NGCDF. Now, okay, if that's the case, let us remove it. My aim is to implement the NADCO report. So I think that's why I was saying there are two people here with the different versions, but also they want this. How, NADCO report, it was a proposal from the Kenya Kwanza and Azimio. It's not a proposal from one team. Like there were issues which were raised by the Azimio and there were issues raised by Kenya Kwanza. Maybe there were some issues which were just put intentionally for it to delay or for it to pass through, but there are some extent whereby now the Prime is saying, I want to do away with the NGCDF. It means maybe now Ruto said, okay, for me for us to assist you to pass the NADCO report or implement it, ensure that we are going to implement it minus this NGCDF. Then primes might admit, okay, if that's the case, let us implement NADCO report, but let us remove the NGCDF. I think that is what I wanted to put across, because it has been delayed. I think it has been delayed intentionally, and because there's nothing, absolutely nothing that stop it to be implemented, because right now there's broad-based government, and the broad-based people are the people who propose it.
Okay. Makobura, how are you doing, sir?
Good evening. I'm doing good. Sorry I'm late. I've had a very long and tough day, but I'm glad that I've finally joined. This evening, allow me to say hi to you and to Miguda, and to say hi as well to our viewers.
Yeah. Okay. How was your day?
I've had a long day, moving here and there.
Okay.
So I've not really found time to relax, but all in all, life has to continue.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Makobura. We've been having conversation here, especially concerning the return of Rigathi Gachagua, and we were just giving our view or our opinion on what should be done, especially with the Rigathi Gachagua team, and even on the government side, because we've seen cases whereby when opposition leader are coming or are jetting back from from their sabbatical leave or any kind of vacation, especially, they find it very rough. For example, when Raila Odinga was coming from United States, remember, Baba, while you are away, there was a confrontation between the Raila supporters and the police. And now Rigathi Gachagua is coming. And what is your take on the coming of Rigathi Gachagua, and what should they, especially the relevant authorities like the police, especially do? And also, what should the DCP supporters of Rigathi Gachagua also do, so that in the procession we can have a peaceful march without casualty?
Okay, fine. My opinion to that is let me first talk about Gachagua's coming back.
Yeah.
I think Gachagua is a politician just like any other politician.
Mm.
And he
Okay,
has,
Makobura, can you check your...
of late he has received. You can hear me?
You're breaking, you're freezing, sir.
Okay, yeah, I'm saying that Gachagua has made quite, he has done much in his political life to an extent that he has received quite a good following. A following that is coming both from the Mount Kenya region, where and to speak on their behalf. We've also seen him speaking on behalf of quite a number of people who believes that the government is not doing well. So out of that, he has gotten quite a good number of following. And what I can say is that his coming back is going to be received with a lot of he's going to get a lot of good reception from his supporters. And I know much is going on behind the scene in mobilization of supporters to come out and show him love. That is normal thing that we've always seen in the political limelight. But something else that I can add on that is that it's not going to be different from the ones that we've always seen. It is going to be one where the supporters will be coming out. Of course, if they normally we've always seen chaos here and there. There's a possibility of us again going to see chaos because the Kenyan police, they have always not conducted themselves with a lot of decency when handling civilians who are coming out to do what they want or do what makes them happy. Because again, you can see very well. You've seen the comments that is coming from senior political leaders in the government. Previously, they said that they would arrest him, and of course, the supporters would not allow that to happen easily. So, of course, unless the government side, retract their statement and say that they will have him do that in other day, not on the day that he'll be coming within the country, then there's a possibility of that kind of chaos being tamed down. I think I think sometimes it is good because we have leaders who are being advised as well. There are some things that if you start coming out to criticize or if you start coming out to stop people from doing, then automatically they will turn wild. And you've always known that such kind of things are the ones that make the people of Kenya happy, and especially the youths or those people who are being, the kind of environment we live in, a lot of unemployment, and so you can really get almost 1 million youths for that particular work. And I'm telling you, we've always seen the kind of moves we've seen during even demonstration. Those youths might again turn wild activities which are not right. So similar things are expected. What we need to do is, I would advise the government side to, not take credit and not come out and say that they are going to arrest him at this particular time, because that, of course, will cause a lot of chaos within Nairobi. So for that reason, it would be wise for them to retract their statement and let Gachagua have a safe landing, and then after that, he can find time to go record statement as they had requested.
Talking about the safe landing, I
You're
was
muted.
just saying, are you getting me? Miguda, are you getting me?
Yes.
Yeah, you are clear.
Okay, now I was just saying somewhere that they're saying that he's not allowed to attend the because they were supposed to march from the JKIA, and they would address a rally at Kamkunji, which I'm seeing here they are saying he's not going to be allowed to address that rally. In that scenario, what do you expect?
I think that's not, we are in a democratic country, and I think we are Kenyans. We understand and we know the power that Gachagua has. It is one that, of course, cannot descend on anything. So, as a democratic country, I think it would be wise or good to just give him a chance to have a say of what he want to say. Of course, if the statement that is going to make, going to cause chaos among the people, then at that particular time, it should then be, the right procedures should be followed. But I don't think that it should be denied. It is not right, because the Constitution guarantees each and every person an opportunity to, to move, to give their views freely without being, being stopped, because you cannot preempt or say that whatever he's going to say is not right, and yet he has not spoken. And again, that is, it's going to be a negative thing on the side of government, because it would be seen like they're trying to control, or they're trying to stop, or they are trying to behave in a way that is not recognized. That is not, they would be not respecting the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. And again, it would be also a show of not respecting the opposition, and not just opposition, anybody who is having a different opinion in terms of how, in terms of expressing themselves. Remember, Rigathi Gachagua and his friends or close allies or the opposition side, they've also declared their interest. It would be unwise, it would be wrong for the government side, whom we've always seen every weekend, not just weekend, moving around the country campaigning. It would be wrong for them to stop Rigathi Gachagua from also meeting his supporters and delivering or speaking to them. That again might then bring what we call a lot of chaos in the country, because some people would then say that the government is not being fair to the people who are having divergent opinion and such kind of take.
Okay, thank you so much, Makobura. And Miguda, if you look back and when Rigathi Gachagua was away, you've seen especially majority, all the leaders from DCP have always encountered, especially they've encountered with the police, especially when they are having these meetings. Remember the ones that happened when they came from church, and the two incidences that have really happened. And if this one also tomorrow, if things don't go as it is expected again, what message will people getting, especially from the security and also from the competitors of Rigathi Gachagua?
I think, like I've said in my first submission, that we have seen similar incidents before. And it's very prudent for us to learn from the history, because if we don't learn from the history, then we are dunderheads. Because I believe we have had similar incident on us two scenario. There was one for Kibaki, whereby there were no presence of police officers and it was peaceful. There was one for Raila with the heavy presence of police officers, and it turned chaotic. Loss of lives, loss of properties. As a constituted government, it is always in order for you to protect the lives and properties. And if you have realized that, if you have the presence of heavy police officers and also trying to shut down, even if there was notification of assembly at Kamukunji, if you allow them to march peacefully to their destination, then walk back home. If it can be peaceful and we cannot lose any lives or property, so be it. But if they are going to make it chaotic to an extent of people lose their lives, because of course once it is chaotic, there's those people who are daring, they will confront police officers. So you cannot stop them from doing whatever they're doing. So to me, I believe that sometimes we need also to retract from our history before making a decision. If it worked perfectly, minus the presence of police officers, let us adopt it. But if we must, and you understand, on Friday we are having a match against Madagascar at Kasarani.
Yes.
So if it can send signals that Kenyans people are chaotic, people have been killed, property has been destroyed, people can't move to CBD because of political issues, and also we are hosting the Chan. We need to be peaceful the way we have been peaceful. Let us not be distracted by arrival of a politician. Let him arrive, meet his supporters, walk to the destination, speak to them, back home. Then on Friday, we meet at Kasarani, peaceful. These tensions of arresting somebody, recording us for what? He can be even be arrested next week. He can even record a statement next week. He can even be blocked to go to church on Sunday. Let us avoid losing lives and property. So I think it should be retracted from the issue that let us avoid commotions with the members of the public and the police officers.
Okay, thank you so much, Miguda, for that. And Makobura, let's switch gear a little bit, and let's go to what is happening, especially the war between the executive and the parliament. And we are also seeing, and this is coming, when I talk about executive, I'm talking about the broad-based government, whereby the two principles, you see, they are castigating, especially the members of parliament. And I want to bring this to you because, like, the president came out and say that there's corruption, especially in the parliament. And remember, the president has been given the powers. He has the powers, especially the constitution gives him the power on how to deal with such issues. And this is not the first time we are getting this from the sitting president. Remember, Uhuru Kenyatta also at some point came and said that we are losing 2 billion a day, every day, on corruption. And President William Ruto too now is coming and saying about the corruption and the money that is being extorted, especially is being taken by the members of parliament, accusing them of extortion, especially if to say, and is reporting to the public. And Uhuru Kenyatta too reported to the public. What should the public do? If the public has given you the mandate to serve the Kenyans, and now you are coming and reporting to the public, telling the public this is what is happening, what should the public do?
Okay. I think the president coming out to give such kind of statements, it's simply a sign that the president is no longer having the power to run the country. He's simply confirming to the citizens that he's unable to continue performing his works. I mean, his job, one which he was given by the people of Kenya. It is something that really tells a lot in matters of leadership. If you see a whole president who has been given the authority, the power with the constitution and also with the people, coming out to make such kind of comments, it's simply a sign that he hawezi na amekubali ya kwamba hawezi in this sense because you remember when President Ruto was being sworn in and he did made his maiden speech. Remember, he said that he's been given the sword, and you know what the sword mean. The sword inafaa ikate wale ambao wanalegea, wale ambao wanafanya mambo ambayo si sahihi.
Yeah.
And so what it is him who has always criticized. Remember, while he was serving as the deputy president, he used to criticize the president then, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Again, when he was asked anything to do with that government, he would say that the buck stops with the president. The buck then as well, you can say that the buck stops with the president.
Yeah.
If the president is coming out to give such statement, it is a clarity to us as a people and to the citizen that the president is admitting that he has failed. The president is admitting that he has done nothing for the people of Kenya. The president is admitting that he cannot fight corruption. And if you ask me the reason why he's admitting so, it's because he himself and his close allies, some of them have gotten involved in these cases, and I can give you several examples. Majority of people who are currently even still holding the cabinet ministerial position, some of them were gotten out of the government the other day. Majority of them, if I can give you several examples, you remember the likes of Muturi, the likes of the former CS of agriculture. Remember the former CS, Linturi. Linturi was elected and was appointed at a time when the people of Kenya really had quite a number of issues on integrity. Not just him, but majority of them. Currently, the former governor of Kiambu, the likes of Kamboga, are still holding cabinet ministerial positions.
Because I agree with you on that position, Mr. Makubura. But now, what I'm telling you is about now he's castigating the parliament, and there are two scenarios now.
The parliament.
There are two scenarios. I'm giving you two scenarios because the two presidents, the former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta did the same, and now the president is also doing the same. And now we're just asking what has the public has to do, especially if the head of the state, especially the leader. What should the public do, because he's reporting to the public?
I was first giving an analysis of really what it means and why they have always come out to cry to the people that they are unable. At this particular time, the people of Kenya expects that the president would have done much in terms of economy of the country and making things work in the Republic of Kenya. Just because he has not, and with the consistency among the people reminding him that please deliver, please deliver. So this is a smart way of coming back to the people to cry that, well, I have not delivered because there's corruption in this particular docket. And the question we should then be asking is, why is it that there's corruption in those particular dockets? It is because majority of his close allies, majority of his friends are the ones who are holding serious positions in all those departments that he's saying they are corruption. And for that reason, he cannot send them home. He cannot, there's no any action that he can take against them. And that ties his hand. That is why he's coming to the people and telling them that, well, you gave me the work, you gave me the job, I've not delivered. And the reason why I've not delivered is because there's a lot of corruption. I think the next question then we are supposed to ask as a people is, well, what are we supposed to do? We gave you the power, we gave you all the authority to ensure that you deal with corrupt elements in the government. What have you used? How have you managed to do it? And the president will then come back to the people and tell them that he has tried. The fact of the matter is, as a citizen, he has not tried. He has not tried because, and there's nothing he can do actually. I partly agree with him. Remember in the last government, Uhuru came out and said that pesa inaiba and there's nothing he can do. The reason why they have nothing they can do, it's just that they are close allies, friends, the ones who are there. And again, maybe something else before you come in. The reason why again is finding it difficult is because as much as there's corruption, he still needs serious support from these people that are holding this. These people that are involved in corruption. And for that reason, he does not want to rip them off because he knows, well, they are corrupt. There's nothing I can do. He cannot do because those people are the ones who are making his government somehow to be still in existence.
So, and the similarities here. And when President Uhuru Kenyatta was making that pronouncement, there was a broad-based there was a handshake between the Right Honorable Prime Minister and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, which means they had all the blessings when it comes to the majority in parliament. They have all the blessings that they could, the power and all that. And still, the president came out and complained about the money that is being lost through corruption. Then again, this one also come at a backdrop of broad-based government, whereby the two are working together. and the president is saying, okay, this is what is happening. And if you look at the 10-point agenda of the NADCO report, those are among other things that were supposed to be implemented, including the matters to do with corruption. What is making it so difficult? Yet when it comes, the numbers are there, the goodwill is there, the unity that they might have been saying is there, the stability is there. The stability was involved, but why is it that it's still not being actualized? So where could be the problem?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
The reason why all these things cannot be implemented is because, one, the political instability that the president is currently facing is one that really requires people to be around him. For those people to be around him, he himself has to give them some extras. Extras in to mean that he has to get out of the way and somehow give them, make them happy. Making them happy means that he's going to give them some money. And remember, these are individuals, these are Kenyans, and the how money is loved in Kenya and the world. So he himself is gotten to the extent of anafurahisha every individual so that he can get their support. For that reason, it is not easy for him to start speaking about corruption, because partly, if you heard the conversation that was going on in the parliament,
but speaking about him,
they're coming out.
President is speaking about corruption. President is speaking about corruption right now.
Yeah, I'm saying that if you heard what was happening in the parliament, the members of parliament, both in the Senate and the National Assembly, they're coming out to say that, kama mbaya. And that is why you are hearing them coming up with so many narratives and saying that, the parliament has to be respected. If you see a member of parliament coming out to direct their salvos towards the president, then there's something hidden. There's something that happened behind the scene. And that is why they're having that kind of energy to come out and criticize the comments of the president. It is clear, and not once. Babu Owino has said it, not once, not, those people who left the government, the likes of Muturi, they have said it. All those people who have been close to the president and left, they've come out to say that there has been a lot of corruption happening. The issue of impeachment, you've had not one MP, but several coming out to say that truly they were bribed, So who has been doing this? For a deputy president to be impeached and there was bribe, who was supposed to give that bribe? Of course, that came from the leadership. Yeah, those are the questions we're asking. And as a psychologist, maybe we are Kenyans, we've been in this country. Who had the interest? Who wanted the deputy president out? Who wanted Rigathi Gachagua to out of the position that he was holding, a position that he was elected to hold? The people of Kenya did not have that, hawakukuwa na haja. We did not have any haja yote atolewe. Sisi, we did not really care. Who cared? The person who cared is the one who gave the money. And that person cannot come out to criticize a group of people that he himself bribed. And to that, we have to be very truthful. Let's call a spade, not a spoon. The president cannot get it right coming out to criticize something that he himself has planted. So he has to come out and first weed it out, what he did. If there's a matter of naming people, calling people out, then if you've heard what the members of parliament were saying, then some of them will also come with some Pandora paper or Pandora information, just like they are calling. Na mimi napenda vile mambo inaendelea because things are boiling and such, whenever there are such kind of confusions, that is the time that we, the people, we, the citizens, we tend to get the real information of what was happening behind without us knowing.
Okay, and let me come to you, Miguda. If you see on how now things are happening, especially whereby the leaders are, I would say that trying to from what we got from the members of parliament on how they passed the bills, like this what they were told to pass them, whereby the interests of the people were not put in consideration, especially with all these bills that were coming. Because, like, from the look of things, what Honorable David Ocheng said in the parliament and other members of parliament, especially, it gives you a picture of that the needs and the what people are looking for. Their interest is not in the parliament.
Yeah, I believe right now time has vindicated us, because we, the members of the public, we have been complaining that there haven't been any public participation when it comes to the bills. And even the reason why we rejected the finance bill is because there was no public participation. Those are the grounds for us rejecting that. Who was consulted? Who was asked questions? And you saw the other day, John Buddy went to Jivanji Street in Mombasa to engage public through public participation. Remember David Ocheng saying that they were bribed to pass such bills, and their role is to represent. And one of the things we have argued is that there has been an issue with the public participation. And when Gachagua was being impeached, we questioned the issue of public participation. And what are the parameters of public participation? Those are things people have been asking. So I can say that when we were complaining, we were being told that you don't know what we are saying. We are not in parliament. There was public participation. But today they have come and confessed that actually they were coerced by Mr. President to pass such legislations. So to me, these are things I can confirm that politicians are lies. They lie. They lie a lot, and we can't believe them. Because the other time, we never believed them. They force us to believe them. Today, they are just confirming to us that actually we were right, they were wrong. So to me, I believe that we still have a long way to go as a nation, because the same David Ocheng knows very well the people of Uganda elected him to represent them, the public interest. But instead of going to represent the interest of the public of the Uganda people at the national level, he's gone there to go and represent the interests of president. And even he said that the issue of affordable houses, that they were also forced to pass the interest of the president. So to me, these people were complaining about affordable houses being the presidential thing. So today, it is true. It is a presidential thing. Even when we were complaining about the issue of pay slips, that people were being deducted money from their pay slips. And even right now, we can't believe them. Even when it comes to SHA, we won't believe them. So it means the public has always been right, that there haven't been any public participation. All these things have been originating from somewhere. A king has been somewhere making for us the laws, instead of we the people making the laws. So these laws have been made by a king. So it is a kingmaker, whereby a king is making the law to us. That's why I still believe that we, the Kenyan people, our legislatures have failed us. And right now, there is a push and pull whereby the executive is now blaming the parliament to be corrupt. Parliament also saying that kila mtu abebe msalaba yake. We know where the corruption is. So it's like a blame game, whereby you are the corrupt, I'm the corrupt. So these are two people who have played games and they know each other. Now they have come to, they said they have come to wash that dirty linen in public.
So from the look of things, it is that if it is indeed true what the MP is saying, that now, because it's out there, so which means the MPs were not advancing the interests of the people that they represent. That's what this thing speaks about.
Yeah, sure. They are not advancing the interests of the people they were supposed to represent, who elected them. Instead, they have gone to the August House to represent the interests of William Ruto.
So how can now people believe everything that they want to pass, including even what is happening in the parliament, if the people-driven agenda is not in their table, or but they drive?
It is not easy to believe them, because they ought to have represent our interests, but rather they have gone to represent the interests of the president. It means right now, anything that president want to sell through parliament, whether popular or not popular, will sell through. That's why at gunpoint, they were forcing us to pass the finance bill because it came from the president, not the people. So that's why I've said, these legislatures, if that's the case, they have now confessed that they are failures. People have been blaming the president all the time. But if it even comes down to the executive, so it's like the legislature, it's like president anatoka na kila mtu ya kwamba mambo ya corruption si yangu peke yangu, pia hawa wabunge ni corrupt kama mimi. So I think that's where we are as a country.
But now, before let me just engage Makubura. When that bribe is taking place, there must be originating, yeah. So which means, as it stands, the person who gave the bribe must be known. The person who received this bribe must be known, and the reason for giving that bribe also must be known, or the reason for asking that must be known. Because you cannot just come and say that I want you to give me this without its main reason. You know, there must be something that was you're settling for that. Or what do you think? Oh, Miguda. Makobura, we lost Miguda. Maybe what do you think? Because like you cannot say it has to come from somewhere, and somebody has to receive it. By the way. Hello, Makobura.
Okay. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So, me personally, I have quite a number of questions where I can be asking. I mean, the people are asking quite a number of questions because corruption and it's not coming out to give to call out names. He's not doing what is right to give or to share the same information he has to the EACC, which the Constitution gives them a mandate of ensuring that such kind of allegations are then, are then given a lot of what we call attention. We've not seen that. And remember, he's the president. Maybe I think he's also not above the law. He should also go to the EACC and give the information that he has. And what really makes me wonder is, as a president, there are so many channels. He's the one who has what it takes to ensure that any person who is going against the will of the people, any person who is not respecting the will of the people, any person who is not representing the views, any person who is involving themselves in activities which are not right, he has the power to do something about it. We've not seen that, and so it's something that really surprises us as a people, and it just confirms to you that he does not have what it takes to give the information to the people, and the reasons are very clear. The reasons are that maybe he's afraid that he's afraid that you'd also be mentioned, or you will also be called out. Because not once but several times he has also been accused by members of the opposition. He has also been accused even by some members of the National Assembly. So he needs to come out and give a clarity of what he meant. Not just coming out, he needs to, because he has the NIS, he has the investigation officers who are responsible for giving him all the required information as a president. Do you think it was even right for him to come out and say that I know there is corruption or whatever? The best thing he would have done is he would have used the intelligence he has to share it with relevant authorities and ensure that those people were arrested or called to give the information that they had. It is wrong for him to come out. He's from he sits, he's the head, he's the driver. As a driver, if you see that some of your, officials, if you see that makanga wako ananyang'anya watu pesa na bado unakuja na yeye kila siku kama makanga, yeye ndio bado ni makanga na wewe ni driver, mkifika pesa inapotea, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to say that I'm not going to go with this makanga anymore because he's giving you problems. Has he done that? He's not done that. So such accusations are really not making sense. It is just a cover way. It is just what I can call an scapegoat, way of escaping after getting involved in after participating in something that you cannot really come out to speak positively about.
Do you think this is because, like, when you talk about of popularity, because despite the fact that even coming up with the broad-based government, bringing in the expert into the government, but still there's nothing that maybe the public can point out that has really changed based on what people are told. So this might be like a diversionary tactic, or it is a political that is geared towards getting some political narrative, or what?
This is a diversionary mechanism that is being used by the political class, and specifically the president, because he knows that the ground is not working, the ground is hostile. He has, under his leadership, the people are not happy. Under his leadership, there's a lot of anger. Under his leadership, we've seen quite a number of people die. Under his leadership, the cost of things are too high. Under his leadership, there are so many problems that can be mentioned by whoever, with quite a number of Kenyans. And because he cannot justify the reason why he promised, and he has not delivered, he has to then come up with some stories. And part of the stories are the ones now he's bringing forth. Very soon you'll be told that it is the parliament that never did their work. It is the parliament that never passed the bills. It is the parliament that took the money. And that story has started. Remember the other day it was the judiciary. It is the judiciary who are not, arresting, persecution, doing what is right within the law. It is the judiciary that is coming to defend the people. It is the judiciary, it is Martha Koome. And remember what Martha Koome did when we were almost getting to, after the election. Martha Koome was the best person. Martha Koome had the best trades. And then some few days after, it is Martha Koome, it is the judiciary. And the question we're asking is, we have three arms of the government. Why is it that the the executive is the driver of the government? Why is it that the executive cannot just do their roles effectively without blaming others?
Okay. All right.
Because allow me to finish. The three arms of the government are supposed to work together. And it cannot be that only one arm of government wants to fully dictate everything, and they want to accuse the two arms of government that they are not performing their duties. The question would be, what is it that is bringing confusion between the two arms of the government? I think we need to be clear enough and say that there's a problem within the executive, that is the head of the government, and there's need for truthful, for truth. There's need for a leadership that really understands what is needed by the people.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me engage Miguda. Miguda, when you look at what is happening in Parliament, especially right now with the two principles, and you see that there's this pressure that comes from the two principles, and it seems that either the narrative of CDF is being pushed, and we are also seeing the narrative of corruption, which is being pushed, but because, like, we've known, corruption has always been there. Do you think this is just a system in a which way they are using just to create confusion, shake off you know, shake off the people who are kind of are not serving, like the people who are not beneficial now to them, especially then after a few days you will find like we are doing the rearrangements of either bringing in fresh into leadership, because if you look at right now, people tend to think like people like Kimani Ichung'wah now are obsolete to the president. There's nothing that he can gain from the president. And also people are saying like somebody like Sifuna too has constant attack on the administration of the president or on the bread-based government. So by shaking in this, is shaking them off so the new leadership could come in. Do you think that is a narrative, or that is the way they are going? But they have to create this confusion.
That is futuristic, and it can happen because we are also living in the times whereby they want to have a new people, because they have used people. Like we have said before, they are using you, they are misusing you, then they are abusing you, what they are doing to Kishungwa. So it can happen. That is something that is left outside there to be decided by the jury. But what I can say is that the two leaders seems to be speaking the same language, because one is saying NGCDF is unconstitutional. Let us take away NGCDF from the parliament. The other one is saying parliament is corrupt. So minus NGCDF, parliament will not be corrupt. But it was specific that during legislations they are taking bribes. But remember, even the issue of NGCDF, there are some members of parliament who are not working for the people effectively. So it can be corruption within the sub-counties with the NGCDF. So it can be someone is calling out corruption in the NGCDF. Someone say, okay, the reason why we scrape it out from the members of parliament, it was because of corruption. These people were corrupt. That's why we decided as the people to take it away from them. But also remember, there's some legislation that must go back to the parliament. I don't think parliament can make a decision to take away NGCDF from them. That one, I don't think it can happen. Maybe they can discuss on how to allocate more to them, not even to take it away. But if that's the case, you understand that Raila said, we are going to the people and we are going to ask the people, should we have NGCDF or not? A popular question. And the people will just vote, they don't want it to the parliament. So I think that's why he was saying, we are going to declare this parliament unconstitutional so that we can remove the entire parliamentarians. That's why I can say it is more of a futuristic, because maybe they are done with some of their allies with the parliament. Now they want to bring in new people. So you can decide to make it to tarnish their name for them to look bad in the eyes of the public, so that whenever you bring any question for referendum, it can be popular that it is only the members of parliament who are against it because it favors them. What about the people? So I think that one can play, but it's more of a wait and see question. And I think going forward, I also seeing it, maybe it can be political, because even this issue of compensation, they can say, we are going to compensate you people, we must compensate you. But they are going to see compensation until 2027, but there's no one who is being compensated. There's no framework for compensation. So I think some of these things are just political, because they can just say compensation. They're like the narco report, and it has never been implemented to date. Some of these are just political to keep us going and also to keep hope alive. Remember, Gachagua said that Ruto told him that these people, you just lie to them, you give them hope, they're living by hope. So maybe we could believe by hope about compensation, but there's no compensation going on. And this issue we are talking about, NGCDF, maybe it's a debate. Maybe another thing I want to say, it can be a diversionary tactic. So there's something going on in government. Maybe there's a certain scandal going on right now. So they want to divert attention so that people can concentrate on NGCDF, corrupt members of parliament. People can avoid to discuss other important things. I think that one can also play.
So thank you so much. And you know, if you're a very good student of politics, politics is usually built on very touchy issues. And you know, we are going towards 2027. And if you listen, is either Amisi, Caleb Amisi or Kibagendi, they were talking about like the main reason for the PG that took place was to discuss about how the merger is going to be between the UDA and ODM, and because the MPs did not bought into it, the agenda, it was agenda that was withdrawn. You know, so when if you look at even the PG, well, this is what they were saying. Even if you look at the PG, this is Amisi was saying that there was not even an agenda. If you talk about the agenda and the resolution, what agenda did they discuss apart from the lectures that they got? You know, so I feel politically that this is what is happening. The issue of corruption, the issue of the CDF, these are the agendas that will build, even the compensation, these are the agendas that will build into 2027 if they formalize the merger. So what will be the agendas that they will be pushing for? One, they will be pushing to fight corruption, those who are involved, and the members of parliament who have been extorting papers, I mean extortion from the public, then that will be the agenda. We are going to fight corruption. We are not going to elect MPs who are, you know, who are corrupt, or we are not going to tolerate the parliament that is corrupt. That is one, and that is agenda which will win. Secondly, it will be the CDF, and what will the CDF do? They will say that is not the work of members of parliament. Their work is to oversight, and by CDF, that is will be pointed as a place whereby the corruption is breeding too. Yeah, so that is one. Then when it comes to compensation, this will also one of the things that we put in place as government, we are going to compensate. So this is going to be a tool for campaign next year. Yeah, and as I said earlier, I'm also seeing a possibility of shaking off the unwanted, those who are now obsolete, those who do not bring any benefit to the two principle. If you remain obsolete, you're going, because like look what happened immediately after the signing of NADCO report. What happened? The impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua came and it sailed through, you know. But was the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua was in the interest of the country? Yeah, or it was a personal interest? Yeah, because if you look at it, one of the reasons why Rigathi Gachagua was impeached was because one, he was a tribal leader. That was one of the kind. But ever since Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, as talking about tribal, have we now the country has moved from tribal politics to now our non-tribal politics? If that one was supposed to cure the tribal, has it cured the tribal? No, actually, the tribal politics is still with us, you know. Is still in the political field. Look at even how employments are being done. The other time you saw the Oledamo Lekina complaining to the public to the Kosgei, what does he hold? You know, about the kind of employment. You know, you saw Oledamo Lekina complaining about that. You know, you saw that. So so when you see now formalization of the UDA and ODM merger, there are casualties that are going to take place. And there's so many people who are going to be hit, especially with this casualty. One, the people who tend not to be very loyal. And if I want to tell you, this is what let me just read for you a tweet from Makao Mutua. And you know Makao Mutua works in the office of the president. Let me read for you that tweet, and even how Sifuna responded. And this one will inform you on what the path that the politics is taking. Let me just read for you. This is what Makao Mutua did. He said, this is what he said. My good learned friend and senator at Edwin Sifuna, what is appropriate? An attainable position as AG of ODM and the deputy party. It seems honorable thing for you to do if he is a man of principle, almost never happens in Kenya, unless, you know, he's talking about Edwin Sifuna and the position and the kind of position he has taken. So, and if you go look at how Sifuna has responded, and Sifuna has responded that you've been given a responsibility of compensation. That responsibility is quite much heavy on you. So I don't see yourself still engaging on the party politics and the party even politics that you left. And there was a place whereby determine lives of young people, your new friends killed. You see that's what, if you read one of the lines in that, so you see what is happening, you know. So what is going to happen is that there are people who the purge is going to come, especially on members of parliament. And I think all this, what is happening, there's a behind the scenes. There's something that is going to behind the scenes. By the time everything shall be put into place, boom, something will happen. So that is what I think. Okay, let us switch gears again here. And we were supposed to talk about now the united opposition. The other day, Njiru Ndegwa, the good advocate, was having an interview, and he mentioned something here about Matiangi. And now you look at the united opposition, if that is true, what is happening to the united opposition, and what does this one inform you? Because like from the look of things, or from what we know, Matiangi seems to be favorable or favorite among so many people, especially in a united opposition. And when now Njiru Ndegwa comes and say that, what does this one give to the united opposition? What picture? Yeah. And what does it give also to Matiangi presidency? Let me start with you, Miguda.
I believe that when people were demonstrating, the Gen Z, names were coming out. People were saying, okay, Mtata, Maraga, and Matiang'i. I remember that time Matiang'i was even abroad, and it forced him to even, I think, resign and or come back to Kenya to hit the ground, because there was demand for him to come around for the presidency. When he came, things were also moving on the DCP part. Gachagua was also making some significant moves. So when Matiang'i came, people are now seeing Gachagua as another potential candidate, in quote. So I think people like Ndegwa and Njiru are allies to Gachagua, and now they are trying to maybe make it look like it is Gachagua, not Matiang'i, because you can't just say that Ndegwa and Njiru misspoke. An advocate of the High Court of Kenya, how? It was not possible. Maybe he had it in mind. Maybe it has been discussed somewhere. Maybe it was intentional, so that it can send some warning to Matiang'i that even if you are in our camp, remember, it is not you, it's DCP. So come here to support DCP. I'm very certain that one might happen. And talk about the
okay. So let me, before you go to, so it is kind of like intimidation and telling them, okay, for the opposition, or for you to be in that position, or for you to be that flag bearer, you have to be in the DCP. It is an intimidation, or what?
Yeah, it is more of an intimidation, because it's just like they're fighting that it must be a DCP affair. So if we must support you, if we, the DCP, must support you, then you must be in our party. We can't support you outside. So you are either in our party, or you don't get our support. It's more of a.
But that could that one also inform you that the Rigathi Gachagua now he's so much on the presidency. He's going for the presidency.
Yeah, Rigathi Gachagua was so much on presidency as early as 2022 after elections. Because even when people like Ndindi Nyoro were being sponsored to crisscross across the country with choppers, he was never comfortable. He was never comfortable. Gachagua has been eyeing for presidency since they were elected with VMT. That's why they have had issues, because he was so ambitious.
Yeah.
And when people were coming like Ndindi Nyoro, he never liked them.
Yeah.
And people also advising him that you can as well resign and support Kalonzo in 2027, then you make a comeback in 2032 as the president.
Yeah.
He also advising that, okay, you can as well go home, then you hit him on 2027. So Gachagua has always been ambitious. He has always wanted to be president. And right now, to him, he has made so much effort that he cannot let it go to support another person. Gachagua is destiny to run for the presidency. And that's why he was saying, nikipatiwa nafasi kama watu wa upinzani, mimi nitamkimbiza yeye kama baiskeli ambayo imeibiwa. And he was saying, if those people decide it is me, I'll have him for a breakfast. So that is someone who is already ambitious. And look at him the way he has also strategized himself to understand that if you are in opposition, it's either him, even when it comes to protocol, usually speak last. And even when they are in the meetings, usually the one who sets agenda. That after setting agenda, then it's calling people like Alonso, calling Matiangi, calling Eugene, then he speaks last. So to me, Gachagua has always want to be the president. And that's let us not try to make things like we are trying to sugarcoat things. The real thing is Gachagua is a presidential candidate in his own mind. He wants to become the president because there's no way you can build that political party with that massive followers. Then you pretend that you're going to support someone like Matiangi, who is coming with the 800,000 votes. That one is next to impossible. Gachagua is ambitious. He wants to become the president. Now people who are lying to him are trying to send some warning to, okay, if you must be here, if you can't support our candidate, if you want us to support you, you can be in our party. But look at even Gachagua is a bit much ahead of the game because he's already the party leader of the DCP. So even if you are coming to the DCP, there's no party leadership position for you. There's no deputy party leadership position for you. So you have to bargain other position, but not the party leader, not the deputy party leader. That's why people like Matiang'i, even if they're joining DCP, are they going to be party leader? No. Are they going to be the presidential candidate? No. So I think going forward, the united opposition, to my view, there's going to be a lot of difficulties because
on arriving at the presidential candidate for them.
Yeah, on arriving at the presidential candidate for them, because they will sit down. Gachagua will argue that I got the Mount Kenya behind me.
Yeah.
How is it possible for me to back up Matiang'i, who has got the Gusii community?
Okay.
And as for me, I got money. I can campaign. I can manage my own campaign. And you, Kalonzo, you want us to support you. Ukambani, how many governors are you going to bring on the board? How much are you going to bring in terms of money? Eugene. So to me, Gachagua ticks all the boxes. The way Raila has been ticking all the boxes from 2013, 17, and 2022, when they are in a coalition, usually ticks all the boxes because he got the people, he got the money. Same as Gachagua, got the people, got the money. Gachagua is the person who is even popular. Even if you want to rank them in terms of popularity, put Matiang'i and Gachagua, put all of them. Gachagua is a popular compared to all these fellas. So to me, Gachagua is destiny to become the president of the Republic of Kenya. That is what he wants. Therefore, there's no way he can share his ambitions to someone else. So if you had people like Advocate Ndegwa talking like those things, they have been discussed somewhere, or there's something that is going on somewhere.
Okay, thank you so much. You know, yesterday, and there's something quite very much interesting, and the same about on the war of Graf Makobura. I'm coming to you to talk about the remarks that were made by Advocate Njiru, especially concerning Matiang'i. But now, remember yesterday there was a presidential proclamation on the establishment of multi-agency team on war against corruption. And I'm telling you, the war against corruption, it will be a tool for campaign in 2027. And so if you read it, it has explained what it will objectives, especially these are the objectives. If you read it, and enhancing cooperation and coordination and collaborating among the agency, engaging other relevant agency organs of government and private sector to enhance the effectiveness of anti-graft campaign. So when you go through this, that is what is done. So when you go down, let me see. I want to tell you the agency that were involved. Let me see. I had it somewhere here. I had that paper here. Okay, these were the agencies that were the multi-agency. It was Executive Office of the President, EOP Chairperson, Office of the Attorney General, National Intelligence Service, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Unit, Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, Directorate of Criminal Investigation, Financial Reporting Center, Assets Recovery Center. So this was the multi-agency that were through presidential proclamation that were put together. So this agency was supposed to fight corruption. And remember, also, we do have commission, yeah, that is being paid to fight this corruption and is funded. Now, today, the court, now the Ruto Anti-Graft Agency stopped. The High Court suspend multi-agency team on corruption. For petition and challenge the body's legality in court. Petition and claim recreation of new body is unconstitutional. So, which means from the look of things and the way creating this multi, it was like creating of a new body that fights corruption. So, Miguda, as law entails, what does this one mean?
That is just an executive order from the president to ensure that maybe he introduce a certain tax to deal with the corruption. It's like he's pretending to be fighting corruption. He has decided to take a duty and responsibility for the corruption. But I want to report to you that fighting corruption is not the role of the Mr. President, and it's not outlined that the president should fight corruption or the president should establish any tax to fight corruption, because we have commissions, like we have the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, which are dealing with the corruption. We have even issues of hate speech or under incitement. We have like the National Integration Commission, which are dealing with the cohesion and commission. Things like corruption, we have a body that is a commission, which is being funded by the taxpayers' money, a constitutional body that can do the corruption. Then they can forward the state suspect to the judiciary. Judiciary is also being funded by the taxpayers' money. So there's no relationship whereby Mr. President has any duty or role to fight corruption. So to me, some of these things are also how you relate with the public relation, and how you want to castigate that I'm the president, I'm cracking the whips. As who? We have independent institutions, we have independent commissions. That's why we talk about the separation of powers, checks and balances. You should not overlap. Your power should not overlap with the person's power. Your power should stick with you, and also you should ensure that it is your power that you must exercise. It's like you are telling us that now the judiciary is going to put assent to the law. It is only the president who can make presidential assent, not the judiciary. We understand these things. Therefore, this issue of a president coming out with a text to ensure that it fight corruption, to me, it's more of I can say, you want to be like, is the person fighting corruption? What if he's corrupt? Because you understand, even him is in the executive. What if he's corrupt? Will he constitute a committee to investigate him? He cannot. That's why we had a commission of EACC to ensure that it dealt with the corruption independently without involving this executive and the parliament and the judiciary.
Okay, Makubura, maybe your take, because like, sometimes remember when there was a Gen Z protest and president came up and also assigned a committee, especially to investigate the public debt. Remember, whereby Faith, the LSK president, Faith Odhiambo, was amongst the people that were named, to be in charge of to investigate the debt, and actually Faith rejected the offer immediately. Like president has always done that. Why do you think so? Like, if something becomes of the public attention, like president will always be the first person to bring up the people to fight that.
Okay, I think this is a strategy that has always been used by failed leaders. Whenever you see leaders failing, they will start coming up with ways. They will start coming up with agenda. They will start coming up with some stories. They will start coming up with things to do with BBI and NADCO and all those kind of things. And they will try to peg all those things they're coming up with as the only solution, or as the only the only route that when followed, the people will get to where they want to get to. And maybe they are forgetting that, for example, the president had came in power with a very good agenda. It was an agenda that, if really was put in place, it would help, it would assist the people of Kenya. But it's very unfortunate that that agenda, as good as it was, it has not been implemented. And so time has also gone. So the only thing that they're coming up with to try confuse the people is the issue of implementation. We are going to implement this. We're going to come up with a committee. And all those committees, this is not the first time we are seeing committee or having a committee. They've been formed. Remember the BBI, where did it take us? Remember the post election in 2007 committee, where did it take us? Remember the one of 2013, where did it take us? These are just sideshow ways of trying to confuse the people of Kenya, because all these committees, they've never come up with anything substantive. For example, if you even remember, let me give you even an example. Remember those people who have always died in Kenya mysteriously. There has been commissions being formed to investigate and to tell what happened. We've never had any of it that come out with any serious thing that is not swayed with the people in power. So these are narratives that we know as a people of Kenya, that they are side shows, their way of wasting time of the people of Kenya, their agenda, the agenda of the political class, and the agenda of the government, of course, is to confuse the people so that they can convince them that they've worked, so that they can be given an opportunity to serve in their second term. But those are part of the things that the people of Kenya are coming out very clearly, because they've been here, they've marked they've gone through the agenda, they've looked at everywhere where it has been implemented, it is not there. So out of that, it's becoming tough for the people in government to convince the people that they've worked. So in one way or another, if the government, those people in government, there's a way they operate. Whenever they see that the scent is getting into people, then they start coming up with story ambazo hazina maana, story ambazo haina mbele wala nyuma, so that they can distract, that they can they can manage, let me use that term, they can manage the environment, the expectation, the conversation, that is what I can say.
Okay, asante sana mandugu zangu na wale ambao wanatutazama kwa labda nyinyi pia mnaweza katupatia maoni yenu, na kesho pia tutakuwa hapa, tutazungumzia maneno ya Rigathi Gachagua, kwa sababu kesho atakuja na naona kwamba hata serikali washatoa onyo. Sasa kesho tutaona ni vipi unajua ni siasa tu. Na Makobura, hebu tuzungumzie, kuna juzi Kuria alikuwa anazungumza, mheshimiwa Kuria alikuwa anazungumza pale, akasema kwamba watu wasikize ground. Na kuna mahali hata hapa, sijui nilisoma mahali hapa, buacha niangalie hapa kwa nimeipoteza. Okay, this is what Kuria said. I think in former senior This is what it read. Former senior advisor to the president, Moses Kuria, has cautioned both governors and the ruling party, United Democratic Alliance, against relying too heavily on opposition leader Raila Odinga for political convenience. Speaking on Tuesday night, Kuria said some politicians appear to treat Raila as a solution to every challenge, warning that such thinking is outdated and unsustainable. He compared this tendency to the belief that mwarubani name tree can cure multiple hizi mwarubaine, yeah, main tree can cure multiple diseases. My good friend Baba is being misused by two kinds of people. The first category believes that as long as you have Baba, you have the solution to everything. Baba is not mwarubaine that can cure all diseases. Society has changed and that reality is about to crumble, Kuria said. Do you share anything with what Kuria said here? Hello, Makobura, do you share anything? Okay, seemingly we have a problem with the internet on the other side.
Sorry. I was trying to unlock my mic and it was not active. Okay. The comments of Korea. Korea was, to me, I've not believed in the comments of Korea of late because he's not coming out as, to me, he's not coming out as someone who's speaking from his mind.
Yeah.
I know that Korea is one gentleman who has always played a very clever game, a game that has always assisted him to become more relevant in the political field. And Korea to me is if you did not give me a chance to comment about Matiangi being labeled as a as a project.
Okay, you
Allow
can go
me to
ahead.
say something on that first, and then I'll give my take on on Korea. Fred Okengo Matiang'i is the only person that I believe can lead this country and can make this country get to where we want it to get to. That is my take. And I also believe that Fred Okengo Matiang'i, I've interacted with some of his some of the things that is implemented in this country, and I can categorically state it very well that Fred Okengo Matiang'i is the only person who can make a good president currently if you compare it with the people who are there. The former CJ as well can perform well as a president. So if I see Advocate Njiru coming out to label Matiang'i as a project, then that reminds me of the issue of tribalism is still real. Where a section, for example, if I'm coming from Luo Nyanza, then the only person who has to be given the opportunity to run as a president or has to be supported is a Luo. I think that kind of narratives are things that we are getting, we are tunaziacha nyuma. And that advocate needs to get to know that. This time around, we are not going to elect someone because they're coming from our regions. We are going to elect a person who is going to solve the issues. The political issues, political problems, economical problems, administrational problems that we are facing as a country. Rigathi Gachagua cannot, in my opinion, cannot deliver in such kind of activities. And therefore, as much as he has support, as much as he has close allies who can speak and talk for him, I don't think they have to be as well normal people, normal in the sense that they need to make right decisions. They should not mislead the country. That is my take on that. And for that reason, I particularly say that the gentleman, Advocate Njiru, is speaking out of the support that is having for Rigathi Gachagua. And if he is a supporter of an individual, I think it is not right that he comes out and label him as a project, because they are all in opposition. For that reason, opposition, of course, really needs to get together for them to come up with anything meaningful that can assist in one way or another. But even his comments, of course, specifically directs and it simply explains the fact that he's having a tribal mentality or a tribal thinking, which we, the people of Kenya, at this particular time, we no longer entertain. But what we want as a people is a government that works. We want someone who's going to deliver. Whether the person is coming from Ethiopia, whether they're coming from South Sudan, we want someone who can deliver. We do not really care whether they're coming from the biggest tribe or the smallest tribe, whether they do not have a tribe. We really do not care. That is my take on the comments made by Jiru. On the comments made by Korea, Korea is, to me, is a project of the government that has been sent away to to confuse the people of Kenya, and specifically to confuse the Mount Kenya region that has been infiltrated by the politics of opposition, politics that has divided the Mount Kenya and is signaling that it is no longer going to support the government. So he's been sent to come out and try test the water and possibly even stand or run as a president so that he can be able to divide the Mount Kenya region and those who believe that the president has not worked or delivered.
Okay,
That is my
Makobura,
take on that.
Okay, Makobura, thank you so much for your take. And I'm seeing our good friend Ayaga. Ayaga talk of grand welcoming of Rigiji. And thank you. Father Danny, thank you so much for joining us. And we have quite a number of people who are in the comment section and those who are watching us. We are kindly requesting you, if you're new in this channel, please just subscribe. When we have a conversation like this, you can also be part of the conversation, and we continue building a country of good governance and good leadership. And what I usually say is that if you want a good country is not, we are not getting good country through maybe political statements or political narratives. A good country is usually got by voting the right leaders, the leaders whom you feel are very right, the leader whom you understand the challenges that people are going through. And if you do so, you will get what you want. Because the reason why I'm telling you this, based on what the member of parliament especially said in the parliament at today, when they were talking about the issue of corruption that president was labeling against them. And he said that, how could the president do that? How could you do that? How could you label us that we are corrupt? And I'm just reading it. I quote, this is David Ochieng. This is a member of parliament. This is, I quote, Ruto gave us the finance bill. It was never popular, but we passed it for him. Remember, we passed it for him, not for the people. Remember, what were they in this finance bill? And the Kenyans majority were saying, no, this is not good for us. But because they did not represent the views of the people that took them to parliament, but they felt it wise that they should pass it for president. It was never, we passed it for him. He gave us the housing levy. These are issues that Kenyans were raising, especially when you talk about house levy, talking about ownership, talking about even buying and the payments, because you're being deducted as a tax the same time you want to buy these houses. So these are the things that the Kenyans were asking. And now today, those questions that you are asking today, they're being answered here. So they were not passed especially for you, according to what the member of parliament is. I quote here. We passed it for him. He asked us to pass SHA for him. Remember, our SHA has been a challenge, especially to accessing proper medical care, but for the majority of Kenyans, But it was not for Kenyans, and passed it for him. What have we not done for him that he can now come and So what is it that they've not done for president? Na sasa nakuja natuambia nini? Ninaje? Ni nini tuja kufanyia? Kama tunaweza sema kwa Kizungu, kama ulituambia ni hichi tukamfanyia wewe, tukawacha mahitaji ya watu ambao sisi masilahi ya watu ambao tunawakilisha, tulichukua tukaangusha chini, tukafanya kwa ajili ya wewe. Leo hii unakuja ni vita hii imetokea baba. Sasa hiyo ndio nakwambia, wakati ambapo imefika mwafaka, siku mzuri ambao unaenda kupiga kura. Usipige tu kura, piga kura kwa viongozi ambao watakidhi mahitaji yako. Piga kura kwa viongozi ambao hawatasukuma ajenda za nafsi ya wao wenyewe. Kiongozi yule ambaye atajua changamoto gani ama changamoto lipi labda wewe eneo langu linapitia, tutaitatua vipi? Basi tutakuwa na Kenya mzuri. Lakini ukipiga tu kura, labda ulikuwa umepatiwa pesa kidogo, ukapiga kura kwa ajili ya pesa, basi pia utakipata, kwa sababu hakuna kitu ambacho utafanya bila kukuwa na marejeleo. Kwa sababu hata kwa biashara, ukifanya biashara, kuna ile wakati unaweza pata na kuna wakati pia unaweza poteza kibiashara. So lazima ujue kwamba kuna wakati nilikuwa nasikiza hotuba ama nilikuwa nasikiza mahojiano ya mtu, walikuwa nafanya mahojiano, akasema jambo moja. Akasema kwamba ukitaka kukula na malkia lazima ujue thamani ya sahani ya malkia. Malkia, thamani ya sahani yake. Na pia ukikula na malkia uko na adabu wakati unakula na malkia, kwa sababu unajua malkia ni mtu ambaye anaheshimika. Sasa unapata ukikula na malkia lazima ujue thamani ya sahani, lazima ujue utaratibu. Hata ukiitwa kwenda kukula Ikulu, lazima ujue taratibu ya kukula Ikulu. Usikule tu kwa sababu umealikwa Ikulu, but kuwa na taratibu, onyesha heshima. Gypsy Kona anatuambia nini? Ama anatuambia natembea and Orengo want the politician close to Ruto, he will chew them, Heshima ipo. Hata ukikula, kula na heshima, mako bura. Usikule tu. Usikule kama mtu ambaye hajawahi ona chakula miaka 20 zilizopita. Leo ndio siku yako ya kwanza. Unajua mako bura, sijui kama ushapata nafasi wageni wakakuja kwenye kuwatembelea. Na wakati tulikuwa wadogo, wageni wakikuja kututembelea, tunawaambia, unajua kwa heshima ambao tunapatiana wageni, wanapakua yote kwa mgeni, kwa sababu wanajua huyu mgeni atakula na kwa adabu sana. Tutakuwa tunangoja zile chembe ambazo zimebaki. Kwa Kijaluo wanasema warito the welo. Ushasikia kauli kama hizo? Kwa bahati mbaya, ukawa wageni ambao wamekuja kuwatembelea ni wageni ambao hawana nidhamu sana, hawazingatii zile nidhamu za kukula. Watakula yote, mpaka ile ambao mabakshishi ambao itabakia watoto, ama wale ambao wenyeji ambao walikuwa wamealika wageni wanapata kwamba kuna Kenya wanakula. Hapo ndo utasikia mgeni ameharibu jina. Wacha siku moja watu, we unaniambia nini? Lakini siku ile wageni kutoka wale watu wenyu walikuja hapa, si walikula bila adabu, hata hawakubakisha hata kidogo. Watoto walishinda njaa kwa sababu nidhamu hawakukuwa nao, nidhamu ya meza ya kukula. Sio ndio maana nakwambia hata kama umeenda ugenini, lazima saa zingine ukule kwa adabu, ukijua kwamba kuna labda mtoto fulani atasubiri. Unajua hivyo, Makobura. Asante sana kwa wale ambao wanatutazama. Hyena eats their own children. Ndio hiyo sasa tena ingine. Ajali hata kama ni mtoto wake, bora njaa imekuja, anataka kumaliza njaa. So ni kweli. Makobura, labda maneno yako ya mwisho.
I think just like I did say, me like what is how it's boiling. And I would really like it to continue boiling, because if you are seeing close allies of Raila, the likes of Senator of Narok, coming out to say that there's something that he had said here. Let me see if I can get it. First, of course, Junet was also very very serious, and he spoke that whoever alleges must prove. Therefore, the burden of proof lies squarely on those who have made the allegation. Corruption permits every arm of government, from the executive to the judiciary, not just parliament. That is Junet. And then Ledama Olekina also, I quote, "Let's cut the crap and open the Pandora's box on SHA. The real benefactors aren't who you think. They'll shock you to your core. Mirror on the wall. Who is the most corrupt powers in Kenya?" End of quote. Then Mukisa Kitui is also saying that when the Speaker of the National Assembly is flying out every weekend to distribute money in the name of empowerment, who then will be held accountable? Of course, Kimani has also started crying and saying that things are not working very well.
Math is not mathing.
Yeah, so I think I like that. Personally, I like that. I want these people to come out of their cocoons and speak the truth. Because not just speak the truth, they should also be held accountable. We should not just allow them to come and speak or spree words, helu without them being also.
Makobura, hiyo inatuambia nini? Yaani inakueleza kinagaubaga uongozi ambao nchi yetu tuko nayo, kwa sababu kwa kila mara kuna pahali ambapo ukipata kwamba pahali kama tuseme kama bunge ni pahali ambayo inaheshimika sana. Nchi mingi sana sana zinaheshimu bunge, kwa sababu bunge wamepatiwa jukumu kubwa, kwa sababu unawakilisha nchi nzima, na nyinyi wabunge pia ndio mnafaa mkume yale ajenda ya wananchi, kuangalia kwamba kama wananchi wamebanwa fulani, mnafaa mlete hoja ambayo inafanya nchi inaendelea vizuri. Lakini unajua hata kama mimi sasa saa zingine nakubaliana na rais, kwa sababu kulingana na jambo ambayo rais amesema, labda inaweza kuwa ni kweli, inaweza kuwa ni kweli, na labda tuseme kwamba labda kuna labda hawa watu kashajua hivyo, sasa wakajua kwamba labda wameweka sasa demand juu zaidi yenye mtu mwenye alikuwa anatoa hawezi toa, so lazima, unajua ni vitu vingi ambazo zinaweza tokea, unaona. So na hiyo pia inakuwa ni changamoto. Inasema kwamba vitu ambazo wananchi wamekuwa wakisema katika bunge hili ambayo sisi tuko nayo leo imekuja kuhitimia. Kwa Kiswahili tunasema rais ametengua mawazo na fikra mafikira zetu, kwamba yale wananchi walikuwa wanafikiria katika hii bunge kimetenguliwa na rais, na mtu mwenye ameitengua tena zaidi ni mbunge mwenye amesema tulipitisha si kwa niaba ya wananchi, kwa sababu unapata kwamba wananchi wanalalamika kuhusu zile hoja ambazo zilipitishwa kama SHA. Mengi wamebadilia, kama house levy wengi wamebadilisha, wamecomplain sana, na leo hii mbunge anatuambia wazi ametengua hayo, ameitengua vizuri sana. Rais ametengua jambo ambalo watu walikuwa wanafikiria kuhusu bunge hili, na vile mbunge huyo pia ametengua maswali ambayo Wakenya wengi walikuwa wanauliza kwamba hii SHA ingawaje ndio inafanya kazi, lakini ni nani anafaidika sana? Ametengua hayo yote. So hiyo kitu ambacho kinafanyika kinatueleza kinagaubaga, labda tunafaa tufanye juhudi katika uongozi wetu. Uongozi wetu bado haijafika ile kiwango ambao tunaweza sema kwamba uongozi wetu inatuendeleza kivyema. Sheria tunapata kwamba hatufuati sheria. Makobora. Okay.
Yeah, we have a challenge in the Republic of Kenya. We have a challenge of leadership. We have a leadership that is not responsible. We have a leadership that we have a leadership that understand their roles but do not want to perform their duties. We have a leadership that is greed. The level of greed in them is on another level. We have a leadership that if you don't, if they are not together, speaking together in terms of what they are getting, then you're an enemy to them, or they are enemies to each other. We have a leadership that has forgotten about the people who gave them the mandate to be leaders. But what they are currently doing is, if you offer them something, they can sell the whole constituents. So long as them, they're okay. And they've been actually selling the constituents. They've been selling the voters. They've not really respected the people who gave them the chance. And I think that is a clear thing that we've seen as a people. And of course, the president did confirm it the other day. And out of the comments of the president, it has really exposed and given us a brief information of the kind of parliament that we have. It has simply clarified the kind of leadership that we have and to what extent they can get to when they want to please their masters, to what extent they can get to when they think that the deal is not really good for them. They can simply turn again and have another version of thinking. I wish they would put all that energy in fighting and making laws that can assist the people of Kenya. That is my final take.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Makobura, and thank you so much, Gypsy Corner. Father, I can see you. If you're new here in Brother Benson Media, kindly subscribe so that when we have a conversation like this, the YouTube will notify you and you can be part of the conversation. And tomorrow we will be here to follow up with what is going to happen with the grand coming of Rigathi from the US. And we will also be here to at least listen to what he has to say, because Rigathi usually doesn't lack anything to say. He will say anything. So thank you so much, everyone, for staying tuned with us. We really appreciate you, and we thank you for taking your time to be with us for all this time. Almost 2 hours is not a joke. It's almost 3 hours. It's not a joke, for sticking with us. We really, really appreciate for your time, and we thank you for your support and everything the comment you shared and everything. So on behalf of Brother Benson team, that is Makobura, Miguda, Barak, and Joseph. We really thank you so much for your support, and let's meet tomorrow at this place as we continue with the discussion. Thank you so much.